Going live. Alrighty. All right. So this is our first ever live stream for the joint sleigh. So apologies for any technical hiccups that may arise. But hey guys, it's me, Maxxy Rainbow.
And I'm Renata from the 𝗍𝗍𝘅.
And welcome back to another episode of the Joint Sleigh podcast. In this episode, we are live recapping and reviewing and giving our thoughts of the first semifinal of Eurovision 2024. So overall, I thought the show was really, really good. Is this an official podcast episode? I don't know if it necessarily is. Is it?
This is a special event.
This is a special. Exactly. Well, first, before we even get into the episode, I just want to give a shout out to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/jointsleighpodcast. If you would like to see more of the podcast, get full length episodes early, ad free, as well as some Patreon exclusives and shout outs at the beginning of the episodes, head over to patreon.com/jointsleighpodcast and subscribe over there. You also help support us, and we are going to be doing some fun stuff over the off season, maybe some reactions to older years of Eurovision. We haven't really fully worked that out, but we definitely want to be posting over the summer for the Patreon, at least some extra special little things. So make sure you head over there and subscribe. And yeah. So the first semi-final. Oh my gosh. So what did you do?
Let's do a shout out real quick. Let's do a shout out real quick because we have a couple people who are already watching, already in the comments. We want to acknowledge you guys. Yes, because we love that you are here right at the beginning. Normally lives take forever before anyone even shows up. And look, people from some of my favorite countries. Croatia. Hello.
Ireland.
I love Croatia.
Oh my God.
I've been to Croatia. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life was Split, Croatia. Love that country. Would love to go back next year. Oh my God,
next
Ireland,
year.
Netherlands,
Ireland,
Australia.
my people. We've got the Netherlands, Australia. Okay, maybe it's an actual reasonable time over in Australia for them.
Yeah.
It's reasonable for us over in the US and probably over in Australia. I don't know so much about Europe, but we appreciate anybody who's here right now at this time. So, so shout out to everybody who is here. And of course, you can join in on the discussion on YouTube, and we might highlight your comment. We might answer some questions. But in this, we will be recapping the show. We'll be going over basically everything that went on in that first semi-final. So what did you do? What were your plans for the semifinals, for this semifinal?
I was at work, so I followed along on Twitter, and I had to catch up with everything later on. And this morning before I went to work, I watched your reaction videos.
Oh my God. I literally, the way I pumped those out, it was insane. Just suddenly in the span of 2 hours, there's 30 videos out. Yeah, that's what I spent my day. Basically, I didn't even watch it live. So, because I was filming reactions to it basically for 3 hours during the actual show. So I kind of turn off my phone and then just react to everything. And then I turn it on several hours. It was an hour after the show had already ended. Everybody already had their breakdowns on Twitter. And I finally turn on my phone after finally reacting to the results. And I'm like, I'm back. I'm back to reality. But it was fun because it's my first year in a few years that I was able to actually react to them, react to the shows. Because usually I'm there. So, So the show, we'll just get right into this, right? So the show opened up with interval acts, or I guess they were opening performers from Cyprus, Spain, and of course Sweden. We had Eleni Foureira, who represented Cyprus in 2018. We had Chanel, who represented Spain in 2022. And we had Erik Saade from Sweden, who represented Sweden in 2011. And they came out and they performed their respective entries from Eurovision. And I believe we started with Eleni Foureira, right? And she, oh my God, that's a superstar. That was I was oh, we've seen her so many times. Well, maybe not so many times, but she's done interval acts, or she's been on the Eurovision stage again a few times since her actual year. And it really do be feeling she was the winner. I hate to always be oh, this was the real winner, but low key.
Yeah, kind of was the real winner. I was surprised that it was so many returning acts. It was such a star-studded opening. I would expect that for the grand final.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, I guess because they weren't actual like Swedish artists other than Eric. I suppose maybe that was the reasoning behind it. It's like, okay. I mean, that's sometimes weird because for you, do you prefer for them to more so showcase people from like talent from their countries, or do you like whenever they do this where it's kind of like a Eurovision showcase?
I mean, like I see like the benefit to both because it's like you get to see like other like favorites who've been involved in the contest and see them come back and maybe do like a new interpretation of their songs. But I do also like to see the national people. Although of course with Sweden, you would kind of expect that a lot of maybe those people would be like Melfest people anyway, because it's sort of, you know, where those connections are with that industry. And maybe sometimes I find those like local intervals, like if they aren't famous outside of their home country or part of Eurovision world, then I sometimes I forget them. But then there's like that one from Netherlands that was like about the water. Like I do remember that one. I couldn't tell you what her name was, but it was like a really cool thing. It was, I think, one of the semifinals. So yeah, it's like I like both, I guess, is the answer to your question.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, because you saying that, I'm like, oh, usually I do prefer, I guess, the idea of local talent. But then at the same time, yeah, I really do not remember intervals most of the time. So, like, I have no idea about that water thing. So, honestly, realistically, but I do remember when they brought ェand 𝗏𝗏 out and they did, like, a medley and stuff like that. Like, I remember those intervals, but I don't really remember a lot of times the other ones. So, even whenever I've been to the shows, I half the time don't remember them. But these were pretty good. They were pretty fast, little, just like 1.5 minutes of their songs. 𝗍𝗍 killed it. She's a superstar. Everybody killed it. Honestly, everybody kind of showed why. They were all close to winning, like second place, all of them, I believe. So yeah. And then we had Eric was the second performer to perform. And that was where the big controversy came from. Oh my God. Hello. Hi, 𝗶𝗍𝗆 winner, deserved winner, no, from this year and every other year that they've been in. Hello, hi, thank you for joining in. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love seeing the comments come through live. This is like really exciting because normally we post and then like, you know, just follow along. It's kind of weird because I want to immediately say hi to everybody. Oh my God, Lithuania, love you. My family actually came from the Vilnius area. Oh my gosh, and we have Portugal, and we are going to talk about everybody that performed, and I think we're going to go in show order. So hold tight, everyone. We will address our thoughts on your songs, but I can tell you, everyone that's in the chat right now, love your songs.
Yes, thank you. And
𝗍𝗏 Michelle, yes, that is right. Or 𝗍𝗏 Michelle, that was the water song. It was really good. Well, Maxxy's homework is going to be to check out that.
Yeah, I prefer 𝗍𝗍Michelle, but no, I'm just kidding.
We love 𝗍𝗍Michelle too.
Yes. So anyways, we had Erik Saade come out and perform a little bit of Popular. Now, I will say, I was never a big fan of Popular back in the day.
No, it's a horrible song. It's very stupid lyrics.
Right? Like, stop, don't say that, it's impossible. Because I know it's possible.
Who rhymes possible with impossible? That shit does not rhyme.
I know, but they actually reworked it, and I really liked the way they kind of redid the instrumental. I thought it was really cool. It was like it had a little bit of edge to it. So I really like what they did. And even with the performance, like the smashing of the glass. And then, of course, we had the controversy that arose from that.
Well, I didn't even notice that they changed the music, actually, because the first thing I saw was that he had the 𝗏𝗏 on his arm. And I was like, oh, okay. I knew he was going to do something. And
yeah,
I'm glad he did. If he was going to show up there and perform.
And I honestly didn't think it was going to be a problem because I had watched it and I had remembered whenever he was announced as an interval act that I remember that he wrote on his Instagram that he was like, oh, I had conversations with the EBU, with Eurovision, and they said that, you know, people saying that things like, obviously the flags of Palestine are not allowed because any flag that's not competing is technically not allowed. So, I mean, that's not specific to Palestine, but he was like, oh, I talked to the people of the EBU and they said that it was, you know, fine to have some symbolism of Palestine. So I was like, when I saw it, I just thought, oh, that's really awesome that they like allowed him to do that. That's really awesome that he did do that. Of course, Eric is Palestinian, and he's been really vocal about, of course, everything going on in Palestine, but also about Eurovision, about the EBU, about the inclusion of Israel in Eurovision. And so I just watched, I thought it was great. I went on to film my reactions, and I actually wrapped, I mean, this is a headband. So here's the thing, right, y'all? I bought this on Etsy, and I thought it was a real one. And it's just a headband, like it's an elastic headband. So
oh, that's funny.
I know, but hey, I had it, so I wrapped it around my wrist like him. So actually, no, I didn't see a single comment, but if you go back and watch every single one of my reactions, I have it around my wrist. But
I did notice. I will recheck because there's still a few I have to watch.
Yes, but so it was really disappointing though, because after the fact, there were some statements made by I didn't get her name. Or even who she is. What is she that she do for the EBU? Please hold as I look this up, because I don't want to get this wrong. So,
oh, well, while you're doing that, hi, Elliot. Oh my gosh,
hi, Elliot.
It's been on the podcast before. Oh my God. And you just wrote 2 songs for Eurovision 2025? Well. Also has a song out right now.
Yes.
With shit, why am I blanking on her name?
What is her name?
She was in the little duet for Luxembourg. Elliot, make sure you drop the name of your song in the chat so people can go check it out.
Yes,
Rafaela,
give some
that's
promo.
right.
Rafaela, yes, because I was like, it's a name of somebody else. My goodness, all these articles are not, you know, if I just went on my Twitter right now, it would be right there. Okay. So it doesn't have her name. It was a specific woman, was it not? Well, okay, this is what the article says. It says, afterwards, organized said in a statement that, quote, "We regret that 𝗥𝗶𝗄 chose to compromise the non-political nature of the event. And subsequently, what we do know is that they have chosen to like completely censor this performance. I mean, it hasn't been posted anywhere. Mm-hmm. You can't find it. It's uploaded on a random YouTube channel. The live stream even of this first semifinal is not up anymore. I mean, that's like a reaction you'd expect from like if there was like a person who jumped on stage, if there was something like they really needed to cut. I mean, at the end of the day, all this is a cultural garment. It's a piece of fabric that is important to his culture. It just because it has been adopted as something that people wear to show solidarity towards Palestine doesn't mean that it in and of itself is not or is a political symbol. Like it's still, and especially given that he is Palestinian, especially given that that is his culture. And Eurovision, what's so disappointing to see Eurovision choose to censor this is that for me, and I think for a lot of people, what we fell in love with Eurovision for is people like the showcase of different cultures from all over the world, not just Europe, but from all over the world. And so I guess it's very disappointing to see the EBU basically make that choice to be like, okay, yes, we do. You know, we're supposed to be united by music, people's cultures from all over the world, except for, I guess, if you're Palestinian. And people are saying the final live stream is still up. I was not able to find it. I'm sorry.
My dog is choking, so I have to check on her really quick. I don't know why she always does this when we're recording, but go ahead and by all means continue talking.
No, yes. Yeah. So it's very sad to see. And I think that the EBU is kind of digging themselves into a hole at this point as well. I don't know. It's very sad to see because this is the contest that we fell in love with. And it's, you know, it's just, this is not what we want Eurovision to be. So Elliot said that she is a producer of the contest this year who made the statement. So hired Eric. Yes. Oh, I did not. Okay, so sorry, I forgot I can actually. 𝗵𝗆𝘆𝘆. Sorry, I'll bring your other comment back up. 𝗵𝗆𝘆𝘆 is the person who made that statement. Well, and no, I did not see these specific clips, but I did hear from the Balkan guy that he was like threatened by the security guards to like be kicked out for just chanting Free Palestine and booing. The live stream is still up. Okay, that's good to know. I don't know why I could not find it. Well, see, here's the thing. Semifinal 1 is blocked in the United States, but I was using my VPN. I was in Finland. I did put my VPN onto Finland, and I was getting all these little Finnish commercials. But sometimes it's weird. I think sometimes when things are live streamed on YouTube, they like don't show up in the normal feed sometimes. Or what happens is, say they set that live stream up 3 weeks ago, so you could like, you know, click and do the like, oh, notify thing, whatever. Like it's there, it's prepared. Sometimes it won't show up. It won't show up with all the new uploads. It'll show up back then because that's when the live stream was created. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, just as Renata is away, people are asking about the second one. It's on the live feed, not on the videos. Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about the second semifinal. I know we're going to talk about it. We'll probably do a similar live stream after the second semifinal. So,
oh my God, why can't she choke when we're like talking about Natalia Barbu or something?
I know, we get into the juicy stuff.
I know. Okay. I'm so sorry. Of course, it had to be during the most important thing. What did I miss? Fill me in.
Nothing. I was just answering some questions. I was just rambling. But yeah, to finish off my point, it's very disappointing because to me, what I fell in love with Eurovision for is the sharing of cultures. And it's really sad that the EBU has chosen to take the stance of politicizing the existence of Palestinians.
Yes. 𝗥𝗶𝗆 does seem to be okay. I just gave her a pill, by the way, for everyone who's concerned for 𝗥𝗆𝗆. I don't know. She must have ate a hair or something. But it's allergy season, and we've both been suffering. Yeah. Yeah. So it is really disturbing that the EBU had this reaction, because it truly is like a part of Palestinian cultural heritage. Like he said it was an heirloom from his father. Did you read his statement, by the way?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So to say that like a traditional, and you know what? The thing is, though, is I feel like I actually have said this in the past, because actually language is a political statement. Anyone who does anything that is representative of being like in a minority population, that can be seen as a political statement, but not in a negative way. So the fact that, you know, like to represent yourself, like that is a positive statement.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it with Australia even this year, and that was celebrated.
Yes.
So,
I mean, people do it all the time, especially in their costumes. I mean, this is something that they talk about in that fucking Peace, Peace, Love, Love song, which is like a disgusting example of their hypocrisy now, whereas it used to be like this beautiful, you know, funny, lighthearted message. But now the Peace, Peace, Love, Love, or whatever is just it's just fake. The whole thing feels fake to me, because they if you want to win, bring in these cultural elements, have your costumes, have the old ladies baking bread, have these things that represent you. And it's like, oh, but unless you're Palestinian, and then we can't even acknowledge your existence at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's really disgusting.
Yeah, and they honestly should have just taken the approach of, like, if they were going to include Israel, still attempting to be some level of like neutral. Like, okay, Israel's included in the contest, but you know, there's a Palestinian person on that stage. If they want to show their culture, then they can do the same. you know, because we're giving Israel the option to do the same. So, and we're giving everybody the option to do the same. So, you know, that's what they should have done, because also it's now working against them because it's creating way more press. It was not, it was a non, it really could have been a non-issue. It could have been, oh, okay, that's great that happened, and, you know, move on. But now it's getting press because they're choosing to censor it more. So,
yes, I saw someone said that in the comments, and I've seen a lot of people saying that, because it's true that this is what's referred to as the Streisand effect, which is like coined after Barbara Streisand, because I forget exactly what the situation was, but I think it was that like something about like coastal erosion was harming her like $10 million mansion, and she and she like drew attention to the fact that she was fighting something, and it drew attention to the fact that she's got this enormous mansion, and it was like, actually, you look worse now, like you should have just said nothing, because now everybody know, and nobody would have known about this if you just shut your fucking mouth. But now everybody knows about it, because you had to go and try to silence people. Like,
and I guess
if they hadn't come out with that statement afterwards, or if they would have just said people are free to express themselves whichever way they want, then it just would have, you know, been it probably. But instead, it became a much, much bigger thing.
Yeah, it's so strange to me that they're going like this hard for them, of course, and I don't know. I guess we could just talk about it now, because I don't know if there was anything else of note in the press conference, but like the similar thing with Bambi, to where Bambi, you know, revealed that they were told that they needed to, or that they weren't able to have the I don't know what the language is, but the ancient,
I think.
Yeah. Where it said like ceasefire or free Palestine, and that they had to just change it to crown the witch. And I'm just in love with Bambi so much because of their fearlessness to just be 100% authentically themselves and speak the truth. And I love that they were like, yeah, they didn't just say, oh, I had to change it. They said, because of the EBU.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that. And it's like, what are you going to do? It's live stream. And I made it to the final. So
right. And they had said, like, I'm pro justice and I'm pro peace. And it implied that the EBU is neither of those things, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah. We got to stand Bambi for it. But I do agree. I think Bambi needs to come up with something and just not tell anybody.
Yeah, well,
I mean, and to be honest, the semifinal, you can't do that really with the semi. But the final's the last day. So, hey, fuck it. If you're gonna, you know, like Hatare, like that was the final moment. That was their final points being given. It was probably the last moment they were going to be on camera, so they knew they chose the exact right time to do so. And I think we're going to see a lot of that probably at the final. Maybe not a lot, but we'll see something.
And you can always be disqualified. However, I can't imagine something backfiring more for the EBU than disqualifying someone at this point for something like freedom of speech.
Oh, yeah. Especially given that the whole argument is that we can't disqualify this other country. So it's like, but we're going to disqualify this person the day of the final. But, oh, no, we can't. At this stage, we can't disqualify Israel. But so, yeah. Oh, I forgot. Oh my goodness. Well, see, I had this, which has pictures.
Oh.
So there's everybody who performed. There they are. Take a nice, good gander. Chanel performed. Chanel was amazing. The sad thing about Chanel is, for those of you who don't know, their choreographer like copyrighted their choreography, and Chanel is no longer allowed to perform the original choreography of Slow-Mo. It was like she had a year that she was allowed to or whatever, but it's up. So now that's why she did a completely different dance, because which I think is kind of messed up. I mean, I get it. He's a big professional choreographer. I'm sure that is normal. He works with like Blackpink and like big artists. So I get that maybe that's an industry standard, but that is sad. And my brain doesn't really comprehend the idea of copywriting dance, but I guess it makes sense. But it's still
wow.
kind of messed up.
Wow, I did not know that, but that is really interesting. I mean, it seems like though that it's like it would be one of those things like when you do a song with somebody, like that you're allowed to like perform that song because you did it with them originally. Like I would have expected dance to be the same way, that like when you're involved with something, like when it's part of the act. This is the first time I've actually heard of like copywriting a dance move in that way, where it's like the choreographer owns it and like the artist doesn't also own the dance.
Yeah, I mean, it does, I suppose, because it's I know it's a famous thing with RuPaul that I believe she doesn't own the rights to Supermodel of the World. And so the first season, I don't know, these are all like rumors, but a lot of people say the reason why the first season of Drag Race for like the longest time was just not available to view anywhere was because of copyright issues, because they didn't actually have the rights to the songs that they used in it. I don't know if that's true, but I know I have heard RuPaul talk about how like one thing that she learned from making music is that to always have 100% ownership of your music, or like at least usage rights of it, so that you can use them in any of your projects. And I mean, the thing is, Chanel was like a nobody artist. She had never like done music before. So, you know, you don't have as much power, I suppose, when it comes to like a contract or whatever, where you're kind of like, well, I get to work with this amazing choreographer, so sure, I'll sign that contract. Whereas if you're a big star, you might be more inclined to be like, well, no, I need 100% usage rights of that. So
right, I think everybody needs to be looking a little bit closer at the contracts that they're signing.
Yes, yeah, everybody should at least read them. The amount of people that don't do that.
Well, contracts are going to become a big topic of conversation in the coming months regarding Eurovision, I'm sure.
Oh my God, yeah. One thing I will say in regards to that, I love that Theodore Andre is still a big Eurovision fan.
Yes,
I only say that because he was posting about it yesterday, and I was like, oh, it's so sweet, because you just hear so many times about people that like have a bad experience in something, and then they just can never enjoy it again. And I'm so happy to see that he still finds the joy in this contest that he always loved.
Yeah.
So, because he had like a shirt on, and he was like, "It's my favorite time of the week," or whatever, or "It's my favorite week of the year." I was like, "Oh." Well, this is a slideshow. This is an actual literal PowerPoint that I created.
That was smart.
So, anything else to say on them then?
No. Well, I do want to say I hate this goddamn stage. It is fucking ugly. The way that because of the shape of it being a plus sign, I feel like it looks cut off when you see even the crowd shots. Like it just looks like an incomplete stage, and it seems like everybody's trapped in the center of it, and that they can't really go. Like, of course, you can go one way or the other. I feel like 𝗤𝗆 did that pretty well when he used it as a catwalk. But generally speaking, I do not like this stage at all. It just like it would seem so much bigger, even if it just wasn't an entire plus. If it just had like the little bit coming out at the top, and it had the full back. Like, remember the stage in the Netherlands where the floor went straight all the way back directly up into the LED. There was no break. It was just like seamless. Like that was so beautiful. Whereas here it feels like disjointed. I'm sorry. I hate the stage. I hate the boxes. I hate that the boxes sort of make everything feel like a ripoff of Loreen's staging. I wish that they hadn't done that.
But the ones that, my thing is though, there are ones that utilized it very well and it looks amazing. And then there are some that it looks really jarring and it doesn't look right. But it's not that everyone looks bad to me. So to me, I'm just like, well, some people just didn't utilize it well, which we'll get to.
Well, and some not crowd shots, but some like of the wider shots, depending on what's going on and the angles, you can like see the structure of the box. Like you can see that they're like the way that the LEDs are put onto like whatever steel frame that they're on. And this is something that I've had problems with. Like I had problems with this with the sun, is that I can't stand it when you are reminded of the structure. of the thing. Like it shouldn't even be registering to you. It should be something that just feels so natural. And it's not like, oh, well, that's the fucking rigging. Like you shouldn't be seeing the rigging. You shouldn't be seeing parts that are moving. It like destroys the magic for me of the stagings.
Yeah, you want it to be something that each artist can transform into their own thing, instead of feeling like they need to be confined within whatever concept that they decide.
I feel like it seems really confining.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into the acts, and then we can see which ones we feel like worked best. So opening up the show, we had Cypress with 𝗤𝘅𝘅𝘆 𝗥𝗶𝗄𝗯 with her song Laya, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. I was blown away by this. I literally, if anybody watched the our like tier ranking of all of the songs, I put this one in skip. Like I think this was literally like my last or second to last like of those sections, because I really was not vibing with the song. But after watching this performance, I was like, okay, wait, she kind of ate that up. The staging was very simple, but it wasn't conceptual or anything. It was just a little stage show, but it felt just like it emphasized her in the best way, just like the all white and then just like pretty monochromatic colors for the actual staging. It kept it pretty dark, which I think is a benefit. And I think that is a big issue for some of them, that like highlights where the LEDs stop, where, you know, the audience, stuff like that, highlights the shape of the actual stage when they do the really bright everything and wide shots. But because they kept it pretty dark, like a lot of black elements and then the pops of blue, I felt like she was kind of amazing. I will say the dance interval little break that she does is so stupid. Like, I mean, she's literally doing this.
It's bad.
For like, I mean, she, like, you watch it and you're like, okay, they did a really good job of doing camera angles to fake it. Like boom, 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 boom. Just like flashing back and forth, flashing lights. So you kind of like are distracted. You don't actually see what she's doing. But like seeing videos from the audience where none of those things are like, none of those matter. And you just see her going like this for 30 seconds. And you're like, that's not a dance break. Like, girl.
No, don't do a dance break if you're not like a dancer. If you're not a dancer like that. Like, I'm sorry, this 𝗤𝘅𝘅𝘆 comment is making me laugh right now.
She was totally 𝗤𝘅𝘅𝘆 though. Like, it was 𝗤𝘅𝘅𝘆 down. And I love 𝗤𝘅𝘅𝘆. I'm a big Tana Mongeau fan. I just watched their interview with that one guy that's best friends with 𝗤𝘅𝘅𝘆. Go to the Aloe Gym. I know all the 𝗤𝘅𝘅𝘆 lore. I love her. She's from is she from Alberta? Love her.
She's Canadian.
Well, is Alberta in Canada?
It's in Canada. So I've been saying for a while now that there needs to be more overlap between hockey fans and Eurovision fans. And 𝗤𝘅𝘅𝘆 performed at the All-Star game, not just performed at the NHL All-Star game, was literally a captain of an All-Star team. Like there's so many overlaps between hockey and ESC. Even the fact that they're both run by really shitty organizations with boogeymen at the top. Like, fuck you, Martin Osterdahl. And like, yeah, seriously. Yeah. So yeah, there's so many overlaps, but yes, that's really funny about 𝗤𝘅𝘅𝘆. And I saw the first comment about following the openers. I had said from the beginning, it really sucks that she got put first. Like, good for her for getting through and like pulling it off, but that is so rough to go early. And, you know, being her age, having followed those bigger acts like that's rough.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought she did amazing. Like, and I'm actually was really happy that she qualified in the end. I do fear, so most of the girl bops were not in this semi, right? And so they're all kind of packed into the next one. I'm curious to see how many end up going through, because I don't feel like this, I feel like this one benefited from being like one of the only girl bops in the semi to vote for, whereas I don't know how well she'll hold a candle to like any of those other ones in the next semi. Like,
yeah, it's not looking Georgia, good for her in the final.
Even Austria, like those are like professional dancers, but like her hair flips, everything, like she was eating, but it was kind of shady because y'all really put her like right after Eleni, like another Cyprus representative, and after Spain. That was kind of shady, but But in the end, she sold me. In the end, I turned around from being a hater. She was in my qualifiers for sure afterwards.
Yeah, she's going to be right-hand side of the board, though, just because of like what you just said. She's not going to, yeah, left hand is good, right hand is bad.
I'm dyslexic, listen. That has to do with words. I guess maybe that affects that too. I don't know. Well, then we had in the second slot, we had Serbia, Teodora, Ramonda. I gotta say, I was nervous going into this because I just felt like everybody was saying that they weren't voting for Serbia or that Serbia was in trouble. Oh, after finally press started seeing rehearsals, Serbia's not making it through. It was like Serbia and Slovenia. Everybody was convinced we're not going through. And so I was like, damn, like, I really don't get it because I love this entry so much. I thought the performance was beautiful. I do think it would have benefited from more intimate close-up shots, but it was so beautifully staged. It was dark. It was just artistic, and it was gorgeous. I have low-key become a Serbia stan, and I don't know if I really realized it, but like people have told me in my comments that I've kind of been transforming into a Serbia stan, which is very interesting. I'm so happy. Well, should I leave, or should we just talk about if we're happy about people going through this? I don't know.
We might as well just talk about it now because everybody knows the results if they're watching.
Yeah. I'm so happy that this went through. I was so nervous. And like, okay, because literally if you watch my reaction to the actual results, that was my real reaction. And so I'm starting that off. And even in my reaction to Serbia, like I film all those reactions before I see the results, right? So in my reaction to Serbia, I'm like, oh God, I'm hoping, please, Jesus Christ, I'm watching that, or I'm doing my reaction. I'm like, I'm the only one I'm really nervous about is Serbia. And so when they called Serbia first.
Yeah, it was a shock, actually.
Yeah, I was shocked, but I was so happy because I literally was like, I could sit back and chill. I could sit back and chill. I've actually got my Serbian flag at my feet right now. So, nice. Because I'm so happy. I love this entry so much. I love Teodora. They're such a good representative for Serbia. This is such a different take. I just love that every year Serbia is like delivering something new and fresh. Like the last 2 years we had like really experimental, artsy, conceptual things. And then this year we're still getting like that really nice artistic vibe from the visuals, and it's still very different. Like this one stood out amongst everybody in the semi, even the other ballads. But bitch, I love this.
Yeah, I mean, we know that this isn't like my favorite. And I'm sorry, Paul, I don't agree that it's the best Serbian entry of all time because that's 𝗏𝗆. But
I don't know if it probably not, but
I think it's great that it did go through, especially because it went through with all of the other kind of like moody, witchy songs. Like they didn't cancel each other out. And
they put all those ballads like, well, we'll get to it, but they did them like back to back to back. So other than like not the witchy aspect, but like it was Serbia, Slovenia, and Portugal, like were the first three called. So that was
lady ballads.
Interesting choice. Yeah. Yeah. And I thought she was one that really utilized the stage well in terms of, I love that prop. I just think it's gorgeous. Every single photo looks like a photo shoot. I don't love 𝗏𝗆 personally. I'm trying to think of what my favorite Serbian entry might be. I feel like Hurricane could be. Like maybe Serbia. I don't know.
Serbia's good in Eurovision. Serbia's good.
Oh, you know what I loved was that one from a few years ago where it was like I love that one. That actually is my favorite Serbian entry ever. But anyways, I digress. Kruna was so good too. And yes, I did love that 𝗏𝗅𝗏 was there. I love that she was there last year for Luke Black too, right?
Yes.
So I love that 𝗏𝗅𝗏 is like a mentor to so many of these people. And I know Luke Black talked about it where he really felt that she opened doors for like the Serbian, like for the artistic aspect, for people to be like, oh, it's not just like the hurricanes that can go to Eurovision or the big names, but like these like smaller artsy artists can go and they can try their luck. And I really feel like following 𝗏𝗏𝘅𝘆, 𝗄𝐶𝗍 has really like blown up. I mean, maybe following Hurricane because they were such big artists, but Serbia's in their renaissance, I gotta say. 𝗦𝗹𝘆𝘆, yes, that one. Yes. All right. And then in the third running order, we had Lithuania, 𝗥𝗏𝘆𝘆, 𝗨𝑒𝑠𝑡𝑟𝑏elt. This was amazing.
Amazing.
This was
so good.
I mean, just, you know, just professional, just like does the job, just kills it. The dance break looked sick. Everything looked so good. I love that they didn't shy away from keeping it dark pretty much the whole time. Like it really makes it stand out amongst everybody else. It doesn't mean it doesn't have progress. The way they change the colors, it does bring in a little bit of like more golden light towards the end, but like they do a really good job of pacing this. And I love the dance break. I love this.
Well, we know that I absolutely loved this one. That is one of my favorites and one of my like tied winners. I think that the staging is great. And like this, it's one of those things where it's like, sometimes it's hard to like, as a fan, when you have watched the national finals and whatever, when you get a similar package to what you got at the national final. Like sometimes it's like, I wish they would do something different. Like I want to see something new. But in this case, like I don't mind that they just built up on the same theme. Like I love what they did. And I love how like moody it is. I love what they did with the lights. And I love Sylvester and I love the song. And I'm so thrilled that it went through. And I knew that it would. And I think it's going to do extremely well on the final. It's just, it feels very fresh. Like there's a few songs this year that I feel like are just they're just hitting certain marks a little bit harder than the rest of the competition. And I think this song in particular feels one of the most like now sounding songs. It's not trying to emulate anything else. It just feels very unique and it feels very original.
Yeah, and I love that it's in the Lithuanian language. All of that on top of that. Yeah. It's like a really unique modern but like also future in the sense that like it's not like anything else. You know what I mean? Like this is like future of music. That's why I said in my reaction to this, I was like, this is the next big rising star of Lithuanian music. This is the future of Lithuanian music. Like just amazing. I will say here's what I'll say in regards to this. So 𝗥𝗶𝗍 said, loved Lithuania, but why was he so stagnant? I felt like he was pacing himself through the performance because I felt like towards the end, he like was like opened up. And like after the dance break, I don't know if it was necessarily like I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a conscious choice and it was just literally like maybe he was a little like overwhelmed by the crowd and then towards the end he opened up. But I felt like, it paced itself really well because then in the end he was like, he was very serious and then he opens up. He gets a little more smiley. He gets a little more, because now he's dancing and whatever. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was paced pretty well, but yeah. So then we had Ireland.
The witch.
Oh my God. Like when I say, I think we all just were feeling the same way when we watched this, where it's just like, something shifted in the universe. Something really shifted because this was insane. This was some of the best staging I've ever seen at Eurovision. Some of the strongest staging ever at Eurovision. It was so cinematic. It literally, and it was so storytelling. It was taking us on a journey from start to finish, something new. What I love, because I'm a person that like, I love a good, like artsy, like I could take still shots from this throughout this performance and it looked like a film. That shot where they're above and they're like, Avada Kedavra, I speak to destroy the feelings I have. I cannot, and the light, like all the candles are lighting up. I mean, that's like literally one of the greatest shots I've ever seen in Eurovision. That is one that's going to go down in history it was insane. Like I could not be more proud of 𝗵𝗆. Wow. And I will say, I read something or I saw something about how the staging director was like the person who did the video, and that they like they're like they're not like a normal, like, you know, everybody hires you know, all the same people to do staging. They're like a person who's never done staging for Eurovision before, I think, and they were like a smaller stage director, creative director, and they were involved in this. And it's like, yeah, this is why you and you could tell from 𝗵𝗆, like the way they have this creative team of people behind them, that it's just like authentic because of that, because it's like you're not just picking all the people who are known to create winning Eurovision entries. No, like this is a different, fresh perspective, and that's what we need in Eurovision. This was so good.
It really was. It was such a good performance, and that's because 𝗵𝗆 is really a performance artist. So like it was nice to see them like really get to like do everything the way that they wanted to do it, what their vision was. You know, it's kind of like what I wanted Theodore Andre to be able to do. I really wanted to be able to see his vision. I'm glad that we got to see what really represented 𝗵𝗆's vision. And Paul, why would you bring this up? Why would you bring up this traumatic event from my life, from my past? You know how traumatized I was. So for people who do not understand, why the fuck is Paul talking about Irish seagulls? Well, in Liverpool last year, almost exactly 1 year ago, I had just arrived in Liverpool. I had gone to McDonald's. I was starving. I was like, got off the airplane in Manchester, took the train in, dropped my bags off at the hotel, immediately go to the Lush Lounge. I'm fucking starving. I walk down the street. I get myself a cheeseburger. I walk into the street. I take a bite, a single bite into my cheeseburger. And then I feel something smack me in the back of the head. And immediately I'm like, oh my God, I'm being mugged. I'm being attacked in broad daylight in the street. And then as soon as I feel this hit come on my head, I feel another hit on my hand. And it's a fucking seagull taking my burger directly out of my hand into the street and eating it in front of me. And then all of his bird friends came down and attacked and devoured my burger in a matter of seconds in front of my eyes in the street. I was completely, literally shook. I was like, I'm still hungry. So I had to go back in, get another cheeseburger. I later learned that the seagulls are extremely aggressive. I also learned that what I was attacked by was a seagull because I went on Twitter and I was like, oh my God, you guys, I just got attacked by a pelican. Because it was so big. It was so big. I was like,
fucking pelican.
I thought it was a pelican, and everyone's like, no, hon, that was a seagull. But our seagulls are much smaller in the United States. They're like hardly bigger than pigeons.
Those seagulls in Liverpool were terrifying. The amount of times I got shit on, like, I mean, it was actually absurd. It became a point where I was scared to leave the house because I got shit on. I mean, probably 5 times. Like, and I've like never been shit on by a bird, and it happened like 5 times.
They were also everywhere. There were so many. So
were.
I am not looking forward to Irish seagulls.
No, yeah, but you know, maybe Irish pelicans will be better.
Ireland can win.
We know you love a pelican.
I do. My hockey team now is called Pelicans. I do. I would be totally fine if Ireland won. I think this would be a song and a performance totally worthy of winning. It'd be just so different from, I mean, the closest thing would probably be 𝗏𝗏𝘆 visuals wise, although the song from 𝗏𝗏𝘆 is like the most fucking milk toast rock song imaginable. It's really just the costumes that are weird. But incredible. Of course, they made us wait really long before we got the confirmation that they were in. But I think we all knew that it was.
That's why I was like, why are you waiting so long? Because like they were, I mean, honestly, this was low-key like a Fuego moment, you know, where you're like, oh, we were kind of worried about you qualifying. And now, I personally, not me. Personally, I could never. But like the turnaround of people, because like I just watched Georgina, Honest Vocal Coach's review of the first semi, and even she was like, she didn't just say, oh, now I like it. She said they were the best of the night. And she had Bambi in her bottom 5. So like, if you're turning the Georginas, the locals of the Georginas around, like, I really like, this is coming for the win. And I love the idea of Bambi winning Eurovision. I love the idea of Ireland taking back their crown in Sweden at that. And I do see Alan said, RTE gave Bambi full control of the production and performance, and that's why it's so good. And that is so important, because I'm sure we will talk about it when we get to the second semifinal about San Marino. But that can really go a long way in allowing your artists just to do what they want. If you don't have a budget or whatever, just allowing them creative control will really turn things around. And we saw that with this. So just getting caught up to see if there's any other.
Yeah, and sorry everyone if you keep seeing me turn around and you weren't here at the beginning. It's because I keep checking on my dog to make sure she's alive, because she was choking earlier. You okay, Cuffy? You okay? Her nose feels a little bit dry, but I think that's because she's got it shoved into a blanket.
Yeah. Well, shout out to all the Georgina stands out there.
Love her.
I got those notifications turned on. I keep up. But yes, so 1 a.m. and doing a live, that's commitment. Well, it is not 1 a.m. over here. It is a reasonable time of 7 or about to be 8 p.m. So we're still kicking over here.
Although I did run home directly from work and then basically jump right on the live. So I am moving. I'm ready to eat dinner. So if I start fading,
oh, I know.
That's why, because I'm hungry.
Yes. And Ireland, that's what's crazy, is Ireland, I know, just surpassed it's now the most viewed performance from the first semifinal over Croatia, over Ukraine. That's insane. I mean, well deserved. I mean, and I've been scrolling through my TikTok. It's all about Ireland. Everybody's talking about Ireland. And what I love is it's, yes, it's like people making fun of it, but it's people being, oh, it's demonic or whatever. And then you open up the comments and it's all these people, and you click on their profiles and they're all like, just, white moms from the UK and Ireland or all over Europe. And they're like, no, it's not demonic. It's pagan. And I'm like, I love it. I love it. They got the Georginas coming to their defense. 2.5 million views last time you checked. That is insane. It's been 24 hours. And I mean, bitch, I could tell because my videos are getting some crazy views. My Ukraine video is at 30,000 views now. It's not been up for 12 hours. And my Ireland one is at like 15. Those are not normal numbers for my channel because I'd be low-key a flop. So that's crazy. But I do feel like, well, we'll get to them. But yes, no, I'm not. No, neither of us are in Malmö. I keep getting that comment. A lot of people think I'm in Malmö. I am not in Malmö. I'm here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yep, I'm in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Shock win? I think it could be a shock win, honestly. It could be.
Because I think the thing is, this year's still so close. Like, even though it feels like it's closing in on Croatia, I do feel like it's still very up in the air. I still really don't know. But I'm not going to lie. I do think the winner was in this semi. I do. Because between Croatia, Ireland, and Ukraine, I really feel like it's going to be one of those. But we'll get to those entries now. So then we had a little, let me get this comment off the screen. Then we had the United Kingdom. So this was something different that they did this year for the shows where they have the actual Big Five or Big Six, well, not Big Six, Big Five automatic qualifiers. They have the 6 automatic qualifiers split to perform in each semi, within the running order.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I don't really understand what the point is. I mean, I like them all performing, I guess, but
they should be the fucking during voting thing when people know that, you know what I mean? Like it should be after people perform. that are competing in. It just seems weird to have them during the actual show.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't make sense, especially like mixed in that way. But regardless, it was nice because I was able to react to them on my YouTube channel already. So that made things a little easy. So the United Kingdom performed first of all the automatic qualifiers. I don't know about this one. Like, okay, I actually am like growing to really like the song, but I don't know. I don't want to be a prude, but I do I'm like a little overwhelmed watching this performance. Like it's not, it's just personal taste. I don't, I feel like when people say that, they automatically get into defense mode of like, oh, well, like, but you have these other people doing this and you have Windows 95 man and they're naked on stage and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not like, I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed to do that, but that is my reaction when I watch it. And I agree. Ollie really struggled vocally, like really struggled. And I feel like the performance is actually a little stagnant because when they do those shots, they're like still, and then it shifts, and then it shifts, but it's still. Like, I don't like whenever shots are like that. And it's a little strange for it to feel for so long, like be in its own enclosed space and you not see the like audience and stuff. Like it's a music video. Like that's effective sometimes, but I don't know. I felt like there was a lot of things working against it.
Yeah, I mean, I always liked the song. I always had an issue with the visuals that went along with it, though. So, like, I really did not like the visuals of the music video. And I don't really like the aesthetic of this either. I don't like that it feels really dirty, which was how I felt about the music video. Like, it just has this very like derelict from Zoolander Mugatu feeling. This like flop house. Like, I've stayed in nicer squats than the place that he's dancing in his music video. Like, I'm not sure I've ever been in a shower as bad as this one. And so it's just, I don't know, something about it, it's like really grimy, and it doesn't mean that they had to go like super slick, but I think they just took it a bit too far, and it feels icky, and it's too bad for me because I do like the song. Oh yeah, that mic pack thing, I didn't notice it at the time, but I did see the clips later.
Also, shout out to Lee Dawson for leaving this comment. Lee Dawson is an icon, a legend in the specifically Drag Race community, in the gay community. Shout out to Lee Dawson. Hi. I feel weird saying anything is too raunchy with Lee Dawson in the chat though, but but shout out to Lee Dawson. We love ya. I did not know about that. Did that happen in the performance? I didn't notice.
It did. Yeah, it did. And there's a part where he kind of like grabs it and puts it back. Sorry, I just want to say, because there's someone in the chat who keeps talking about whether or not a song has quality. That is subjective. And we're talking about everything, complete packages, crowd reaction, everything. We're not here as like musicologists giving whatever, quality points. We're just talking about what we see and how we respond to it, which is exactly what's happening with the people who are watching the show.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, that's what, at the end of the day, I mean, the thing is, that's one thing when you're like a jury member and maybe you're expected to vote on an objective standpoint, but like, we're all fans, and that's how the whole, like, everybody watching is going to be voting. It's going to be based on their personal taste. Like, there's a lot of things I like that are considered bad quality, and I probably would agree. They probably are bad quality, but that doesn't mean I can't like them.
Yeah.
Oh
my God, you banned them.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I'd never used this before, so I thought I clicked time out, but it said it banned them. So
oops.
So sorry. But they were saying some crazy stuff. But I agree. Okay, I agree with this. I think here's the thing. Like, whenever you've said, oh, like the dirty aspect, I don't personally mind that aspect of visuals. In fact, I actually have this weird like thing where I like listen to music. I have a folder where I save songs that I really like, that I like imagine me taking to Eurovision and, you know, whatever. And my goodness, my mom is sending me all these texts. My brother is here right now, but he's about to leave for Georgia. And they're saying, oh, do you want to say goodbye? No, I've got important things going on. He can enjoy Georgia, and he could put out a fire. But I don't mind the dirt. Like, I don't mind the visuals at all on their own. I don't think they match the song whatsoever. And so then you're watching it, and it's like this pretty basic pop song with like aggressive sex scenes going on in front of you. And you're like, well, I never really got that vibe necessarily from the song.
Not at all. and I don't also get, like, why are we at a circuit party at a boxing ring in space in the 80s?
Yeah. Like, it's a lot of elements just put together.
There's just too much going on. Boxing gyms are filthy. Yes.
Yeah. Well, then I love that Lee Dawson popped in right when we were talking about the UK. That's probably why he commented, but he's from the UK. And then next up, we had Ukraine. Okay, I feel like I haven't heard enough noise for Ukraine, because I watched that and I genuinely felt like they could win Eurovision and that they would deserve to win Eurovision. I felt like, personally, I think they're my winner now, because that performance was just absolutely Eurovision perfection, magnificent, full of imagery. It was so like, and I love that my brain is fighting between Ireland and Ukraine, because I know a lot of people are commenting in my I know a lot of people are commenting in my Ukraine reaction that, like, it's not religious subtext, but I get religious vibes from it, and that's fine. I'm not saying that in a negative. I think it's beautiful. Like, the imagery of like opening up heaven's gates and walking up this like ramp up into heaven, and then she comes out like an angel, and then like the laying in all the bodies. I just think it's full of so much beautiful imagery. Something about seeing like the performance made me love the song even more. It was just shy of my top 10, and yeah, I love it now. I think it's beautiful. Everybody sounds amazing. It's just a visual feast.
Yeah. So don't hate me, but this one for me, like, as like good, as quality as it is, sorry, he got banned again, right as I'm going to talk about how good it is, the quality of it. It is great. It is very high quality, but for me, it just feels like too Eurovision, to the point where it just feels a little bit boring. Like, it's like, oh, okay, and then now they do the epic part, and like, okay, well then, you know, now's the, ooh, interesting, it feels really cheap to you. I feel like it feels very like check the box to me with the staging. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it feels like it could have been in like any year of the past 5 or 6 years. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, whatever, if it wins, like, that's okay. But I just don't think that it's very, I don't know. I don't think it feels very exciting. I don't think it feels like anything that we haven't seen before.
I feel like it does. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I love Aliona's rapping bit. We don't get rap a lot in Eurovision, and when we do, most of the time it's pretty bad. But Aliona's like a fucking amazing rapper. I do actually agree with this comment that it's like 1944 and 𝗪𝗪. Yeah, 𝗪𝗪 were mixed together. I do see that, actually. But you know what? They were my winners of their respective years. So I don't know. I really love it. I would love for it to win. Yeah, like, vocals are like so good. Like, even better live, I feel like. And I don't know, the presentation of the rap bit was really good. I thought it had those moments throughout it to where it kept keeping me excited. like the beautiful opening, then going up the I mean, that shot going up the ramp with all the you know, the like things coming down from the sky.
Oh, the fireworks.
I don't know what we're calling them.
Going up
I mean,
down.
no, because I called them fireworks, but everybody was saying it was something else. So I was trying to remember what like rockets or whatever, like that sort of thing coming down was so stunning. Like it really blew me away. And then the ending. Yes, that ending shot with all the women was so
that was
beautiful.
Interesting.
Like I don't know, it just really kept me shocked all the way through, even till that very ending bit. And even when the song was over, yes, flares is the word I was looking for. Even that ending, it was over, and they just cut to them, you know, sitting on the floor with the crowd cheering, and it was gorgeous too. Like them just like reflected into the floor, like it was just like the whole thing was so cool to me. All right. And then we had Poland, Luna. This was sad to watch. This was honestly, because, and this is not coming from Place of Hate, because we both love this entry. This felt like a train wreck watching this, because it just was like, she just was really struggling the whole time. I felt like this was the worst vocal performance like that I've seen of her performing the song. Like it was really rough the whole way through. And as I was reacting to it, I was like, ooh, wait, we're like 30 seconds in and she's already onto her third outfit. She's getting, you know, picked up. I'm like, we just started. And like, there was just really no reason for her to be doing all that. And then when I saw that performance, I don't know if it was just on like a Polish TV show or what, where it was all the black and white and she was just in the gown and she was standing in one spot with all the chess pieces dancing around her. Perfect. They would have 100% gone through.
Yes, they would have.
Like,
yes, they would have. Oh, like somebody said, they had her doing way too much. I 100% agree. It was way, way, way too much. And she wasn't even on the actual horse in the shots. I noticed that as well, because she's actually laying down on the floor. So she just missed her mark, and she missed it both times that they did it. And then there's a part, and Maxxy, when you did your reaction, you were like, wait, how the hell did she get up on that thing so quickly, on the chess piece so quickly? And I was laughing and screaming at my TV at you, going, didn't you hear her like struggling to say? There's some part where she says like, are you ready to like climb high Europe or something like that?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, like, she can barely get the words out, because you can tell she's running up those steps, because the next time you hear her is when she's up on top of the thing. They really just screwed her over. And apparently this is the same staging person who did Embers by James Newman, which was another song I really fucking liked. So it's like, now this staging director, he needs to be banned from the contest. And
but didn't he do 𝗂𝗧?
No, did he?
I think he did 𝗂𝗧's. 𝗂𝗧's stage director did something this year, and I think it was this one.
What the fuck? Well, anyway, he needs to stop flopping. And this was so similar to the Ember staging too, like 2 gigantic props on the stage. Please.
It really was. It really was. And I agree with this. The Velcro
sound. Oh my God.
Like, y'all. It was just, it was a mess. It was truly a mess. Very sad to see, but I love her so much. She's so sweet, and she was such a good representative of Poland. Like, I really wanted success for this. Like, her support of the LGBT community, with the rainbow, like, not even just the rainbow flag, the, like, what is it called? The Pride Progress flag.
The Progress
behind
flag,
them and with them. Like,
that's big for Poland to have any kind of like, obviously gay representation. Yeah, I feel sick for her. It really sucks. I wish things would have been different. Greg, the other half of the 𝗥𝗶𝘆, he's in Malmo right now, and he met her last night. And he'd been working on this like trading card project, which I hope will come up for sale. I hope he will sell them. And he got to give Luna her trading card picture, and she loved it. And he said that she was just like the sweetest person, which was so cute. And oh my God, Haunted Mixtape, love you. That's so nice.
Oh, so real for that. As we're talking about your Polish twin.
Yeah, my Polish twin. Yeah. We need to recreate the picture of Raven and Luna.
I know. Yes. Oh my God. See, this is the struggle of the Eurovision season, especially like as a person who recreates looks, is I'm like, things happen so fast. Like, you know, like the next time I'll see you probably a year, but maybe that'll be the season 2 promo photo. Will be us recreating those looks.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Yes. So then we move on from Poland to.
Well, I just want to say it's funny that I think there was more pyro on Luna staging than the Ember staging, and those are like an ember flare. Just saying.
That's so true. That it really never ceases to amaze me the amount of like how much Poland really puts into their performances. It's crazy. All that pyro for a song that sure as hell did not need all that.
Did not.
They just said, you know what? We're just going to throw some money at this. Like, but then we had Croatia, Baby Lasagna, Rim Tim Tagidim. This was amazing. This was the best performance I've seen of this song so far from him. Vocals. I mean, I think there was a lot of pretty heavy backing track, but I don't care because you know what? Everybody has that option, and some of these bitches still coming out here sounding bad. So if you're going to use it, it sounded good. He sounded amazing. He looked amazing. This just felt like so amplified and ready for that Eurovision stage while retaining his original concept of the staging and his original artistic vision. I see this, like, I really see this winning after this. It was so good. Yeah, he low-key shitted on all them other bitches.
Honestly, it was really good. This was like with 𝗥𝗶𝗯, where you could like feel that the crowd was just electric. And someone pointed out that you could actually see people had like these glow wristbands, and the arms were all going up and down. They were doing the dance.
That was insane when they did that side shot. That was like a winning shot. Was that side shot and just seeing the entire audience doing it. That was amazing.
It was very cool. I would not be mad if this won. Also, it would be great for Croatia to get a win. And Croatia is such an awesome country, you guys. Like, I feel like Croatia is one of those countries that, like, people probably don't really think about necessarily as, like, a place to go on a vacation. But holy shit, it is the Slavic Italy. It is amazing. The food is so good. The weather is awesome. The sights are beautiful. It's ancient as hell. Like, one of the funniest things about Croatia to me, at least when I was there back in like 2009, was everybody smokes all the time. Like, I remember getting ice cream, and the woman was like literally holding a cigarette in her fingers as she held the ice cream cone and put the ice cream into the cone for me. Everybody was smoking back then. Croatian seagulls. I did not have any negative encounters with wildlife when I was in Croatia. And I did
That's
go
good to hear because their nature is beautiful.
I remember seeing aloe plants that were bigger than me. Like, there's a picture of me holding up my arm, and the aloe plant next to me is like the middle spoke is taller than me.
Oh my gosh.
Very cool place.
I want to go to Croatia so bad. It looks so beautiful.
Awesome. It's so awesome.
Yeah. And I also just like, this isn't my personal winner, but I feel like, you know, sometimes you do root for somebody at the prospect of them hosting. You root for somebody at the, like, just, I would be so excited to watch Croatia win because they've never won the contest before. We haven't gotten a person who hasn't won, or we haven't gotten a country that hasn't won the contest in a while. It has felt kind of, you know, all right, we'll just trade back and forth between, well, maybe not. I guess not really. But it was like, you know, Netherlands, Ukraine, Sweden again. Like, okay, back and forth between Ukraine and Sweden. And it would be so exciting to see Croatia win. I do agree with this person that said Ireland second to Croatia would not be sad. Hello, yes. Like, them as a top two would just be outstanding, especially given that neither of them in recent years really have great track records with Eurovision. I mean, Croatia's best result ever, actually, it was 4th place. In modern times, it's 11th. I believe Croatia came 4th in 1999, Maria Magdalena or whatever. That was like the closest they've ever gotten to winning, but that was in the 90s, I think. So, and they cheated with that entry, but anyways, I digress. But yeah, would love Balkan Eurovision. Yes, and maybe we can get the Balkan guy to host. All right, so then we had Iceland. Well, you know what I felt coming was an NQ from this, and that's exactly what we got. This was, I mean, honestly, it was good. It was like, they presented it fine. It wasn't bad. Just, was it?
I mean, the singing was fine. The staging was uninspired. The song itself was a bit dated. And I don't know, it just, with all the amazing, exciting, adventurous things that were in this, I didn't think it stood a chance. It was just very forgettable.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
And now we have a gold bodysuit curse.
That's true. But hey, you know, maybe we'll find a trend, because maybe Ireland will win this year, and then Iceland will win next year. And then the trend that we can get is wear a gold bodysuit, absolutely flop, and then the next year win Eurovision. Maybe we could start that trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was just a total missed opportunity for Iceland. I mean, they literally had a potential like top 10 finisher in their national selection, and just seeing them flounder so hard to this point is just.
Though I did see somebody say earlier in the comments, imagine the way the EBU would have treated _𝗏𝗏 if he had gone through. Terrible.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, he totally would have. And imagine the amount of just imagine the amount of hoops he would have had to jump through for his performance. Like, every little thing would be criticized and scrutinized. And oh my God, hi, Jake's Face Reacts. Oh my God, so nice to see you here. We want videos back, but we get it. But so nice to see you. Hope you're enjoying the Eurovision season. Do you have any favorites while you're here? Would love to know who you're rooting for. If you're watching Eurovision still. Yeah. Iceland, no.
Oh my gosh, somebody just brought up in the comments about the postcards. We did not even talk about the postcards at all. Well, because they sucked, probably.
Oh my God, I know. So I don't really pay attention to postcards. Certainly did not watch them all. But wait, I just want to finish my point on Hera.
Go ahead.
Before I lose it. I think it's actually kind of really sad that Hera when she did, and she went from being, I feel like, a really well-respected, well-loved, like, icon in the Eurovision community. She got an amazing result for Iceland. And it makes me sad that not even the Eurovision community, but that actually, like, it seems like Icelandic citizens are just so disappointed in the way that she specifically handled the situation. It was one thing to accept to go to Eurovision. You know what? She won. She deserves the right to go to Eurovision. She won fair and square, so she deserves that. But some of the things she said afterwards have been really disappointing, and it's sad that Iceland couldn't even be really proud of their entrant this year, and that to see somebody, I don't know, go down like that is very disappointing. But
yeah,
anyways, moving on with the postcards. So the way that they did this was they showed, like, it was 2 songs for every single country.
Yes.
And the most random things, like, or the most random songs. There was literally no reasoning behind these. And I was posting on Twitter trying to figure out what was the connection between them. Why did they pick certain songs? I don't think there was a single one. I mean, because some of them was like debut and then most recent, or some of them were like their first win and their most recent win. But then, like, Ukraine was like Wild Dances, and then
𝗏𝗏.
Go A. Yeah. 𝗏𝗏. Like, what? How did we pick those? I thought maybe they were the artist's favorites or something. I don't know, because I really don't understand what the reasoning was behind that.
I did. Well, and at first I thought, I was like, oh, wait, are they showing like the first entry and then like a fan favorite, like a recent fan favorite? But then I noticed other ones and I'm like, well, that can't be it. Yeah, I was also trying to figure out the pattern. And of course, the fact that the maps have no borders is very interesting, especially when it goes to places like Croatia and Serbia, because it just sort of highlights the whole area. Like, I'm sure they're catching like places that aren't, you know what I mean? And like with Ukraine's situation with their border, like, but maybe just don't do maps.
Yeah.
Do flags.
Yeah, I learned
again.
That early on in my Eurovision content creating years. I used to put a map of the country that had the flag integrated like on top of the map, and the amount of times because it's just like, you just search Greece map, you just search Ukraine map flag, and you save the one that is a transparent file that you can use, and you don't realize that they erased Crimea, or that, like Serbia has Kosovo, like, and you're just like, oh, fuck. Just put yourself in this, and then you just can never win. You can never win with that. So just like, let's not do the map.
It was bad. Oh, and it looks like Paul is saying the delegations picked.
Okay, so here's the thing. I just felt like that makes sense. That's the only thing that makes sense, because
that makes sense,
because it was random. But they should have. I thought it would have been actually cool. Like, I would love Eurovision to play more on the history of Eurovision. Like, if they did for every single one, where they showed their debut entry and then their highest placing entry for every single one. And then like, that would be cute. That would actually be like fun little trivia stuff to see. Because it's like, you forget about those things. But just random. I mean, okay, what's the point?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wasn't feeling them. And then everything with the artists, it just seemed like they were like, just take it on your iPhone and email it to us.
Yeah, it's so sad to see the downgrade in postcards, because, there was only so long we could blame COVID for these horrific postcards. And now it's just like, well, there's no concept. They're low quality. I mean, I love whenever it actually showcases. I hate whenever it doesn't even show the artists. I hate those kinds of postcards. I liked, like, what was it, 2014, where they were all they all had them doing different things, creating the flag,
and they take a picture of it,
and then they take a picture of it.
Postcards ever.
Genius. More stuff like that, or even the ones where they have them like doing a hobby of theirs. I mean, a postcard that allows you to get to know the artist a little bit more outside of just them as like singers is really cool as well. I wish we did more stuff like that.
There was another one that was cool, where it was like everybody received a box that had like an item in it. Like, it would be like a spatula, and then they go and they have to bake cakes somewhere, like that, where it's kind of like random, but it's like, okay, but at least it's like interesting. You get to see them kind of do a fun activity, that kind of stuff. It feels like a lot of the creativity has just been sucked out of the postcards. And someone asked about Stage Ready, and I don't think I even noticed this, but I just watched clips. I didn't. Yeah, what could you tell us what Stage Ready graphics are?
I read it, and
is that when the name comes up?
Yeah, that's what I thought they meant, and I could talk about that. I thought they were weird as well. Like, the splitting up of the names was a little strange, but it was fine, I guess. It just honestly, the entire graphic design of this year feels amateur. Like, it looks like you're watching a Eurovision YouTube channel. Honestly, not even, because I'd be watching those ranking videos, and I'm like, y'all got some amazing video editing skills. I'd be like, when I do my back in the day when I did my ranking videos, girl, it was just using the templates from iMovie, and that's what it was kind of giving, like the title announcement when the
I mean, even our joint sleigh stuff is a better like design, and Greg did that for us.
Yeah. Well, Greg's an award-winning designer. Don't count him short.
Yeah, I'm afraid that I didn't really notice Greg is an international award-winning designer too, even. Okay, I guess I just completely didn't notice the Stage Ready graphics.
I didn't love them, but they were perfectly fine, but they were nothing special. They were literally just text on the screen. I love a little inclusion of the postcards where it cuts from the like filming. I liked them like in the studio, like flipping their hair like little sleigh cams.
The sleigh cams were cute. I'm sorry, this is so random, but I just noticed that I have like a whole bunch of new birthmarks on my arm. I looked down and I was like, oh, I've got some stuff on me. And I'm like, what is that? Like, what is that? Like, oh my God, those are actually like little or like moles or something that I've just like never noticed. Maybe because my office is very cold, so I'm never wearing like short sleeves. I've always got like
you're not looking at your arms.
I'm never looking at my arms like that. And now I'm like, what the hell? Oh. Sorry. I just realized that like my arm was actually in frame, so people could see me like rubbing at my arm. Like,
okay, I need to address this.
I need to address, yeah.
Yeah, you know what actually I didn't like about the graphics that I remember was when they did like I don't know if it was the recaps or whatnot, but it was like they would show the performance and then they would have, I think it was like the recap, and it would have the name of the country on it and in like a little box. But the weird thing about it was that it was like the box, imagine this box that I'm within. Imagine this is the box that pops up. The name would just be like right up here at the top. And then you have all this space underneath that was just color, just plain color. Mm. And then some countries' names, of course, are longer than others. So the really long ones were squished to fit. It was weird. Well, I guess I do see the like early 2000s. I don't see it. No, I don't. Maybe, I don't know. I don't see that, but maybe I wasn't as cognizant back then.
Well, I was around then. I was old enough to remember Y2K. And I could kind of see that because especially like the 90s did use a lot of those sort of colors, but things started to become a little bit more like computerized by Y2K. So you did see more design elements where it's kind of like that pixelated thing. I get what they're putting down with that reference, but I'm older than you.
I was still around.
And Y2K is hot right now. And it's crazy to me because like literally somebody posted one of those things on Twitter where it's like build an outfit based on my style. And I built this outfit randomly, like you follow the prompt to choose which piece you want. I was like, I literally wore an outfit just like this when I was 15. And then I looked at their profile. They're literally 15 right now. So my ass is so old that like my teenage style from 2005 has come back and is now in style again, which I don't like because I look at those clothes and I'm like,
I know about that. It's that curse because for us we've grown out of those things, and so we don't look at it as something new and trendy. We remember what it once was. So but all right, so then sorry, I'm just catching.
I know. Oh my God, there's so many comments. I wish that we could address everybody's comments because there's so much interesting stuff happening in the chat.
Yes.
But the Ted Unidom King, I did see that. Paul.
What does that mean?
The United Kingdom was like split up, and it like if you read it, like
I see. Yeah.
Like Laga Daga or whatever the Lady Gaga one where it's all like that. And somebody did ask about the hosting. I really can't speak on the hosting because I just watched clips afterwards because I was at work during the show. But I did see like a clip of the like grinder joke.
Yes. So okay, because I'm in the same boat. I don't watch the full length show live. I just watch the performances really. So but based on the clips, I mean, Petra's fucking hilarious and
she's funny.
And honestly, the Swedish production, they know how to like write a script for these shows. They know how to like keep it entertaining. So that grinder joke was hilarious. Like that was so funny. And I also love everybody being like, this is a family show. Windows 95 man should not be showing his bare ass cheeks, and Ollie Alexander should not be dry humping a wall. And then it's like, but there's also fucking grinder jokes. And I remember she also did have like a bisexual joke. She was like, oh, I don't know. She had a joke about like a man, a woman, whatever. I remember seeing that too. So I'm like, girl, we're making sex jokes. We're making grinder jokes.
Yeah.
But they were funny. They were funny. I thought it was really funny. So then let's get back into these entries. So then next up after Iceland, we had Germany. Oh, this is a little stretched. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Isaac.
It's definitely stretched. I can see it in his face.
Anyways, so I thought Germany was amazing. Like, and I've been saying Germany is an amazing song. Yes, maybe it's not the most original, but I don't care. I think it's a really good song. His vocal was fucking perfect. Like, I mean, no notes, stronger live even. In the rehearsals, he was giving nothing. He was giving nooch, no emotion, but he turned it on for that stage a little bit too much. He was low-key performing a little bit too much. But it's fine. It wasn't like an official performance yet. We could reel it back a little. The staging is gorgeous. I mean, that fucking just like burning building. But here's my issue. That all happens within the first half of the song. And then the end, it's just like all the lights are off. I felt like we needed to like build to the fire instead of start off with the fire and then let it fizzle out. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like the song is pretty fine and okay. And like the staging is like pretty good, but I don't see this one having any kind of like blowout shock. You know, I think people will like it or not. Okay. I don't expect a lot of people to pay money to vote for this song personally.
You don't though, because I think there is certain, well, I do think the jury is going to be what carries this, but I just think, I guess the shock that I'm expecting is that everybody assumes this is coming last. I think anybody who thinks that is silly. This is not going to come last, especially not after that performance. Amazing vocal. I mean, actually really amazing staging. Like, there's no way this is going to come last. I think.
I mean, I didn't think that Lord of the Lost would come last year.
I personally hated that entry. So.
Oh, really? I liked it, and it's not even my style.
I did expect that.
And I see somebody in the comments brought up that he had said some shit about like the contest not being political and basically like bring Russia back, which like,
well, that was misconstrued.
Well, so he does have a point in the sense that the EBU is hypocritical as fuck. And they're inconsistent with the way that they apply rules. And if we are going to have Israel in, then we might as well have Russia in because they don't have a fucking moral compass. And it was just the circumstances, like political circumstances that, you know, had things turn out the way that they did. I think neither of them should be competing. So it's like, you know, maybe he thinks both should be competing. I'm saying neither should be competing. But like he was correct in the sense that like it is hypocritical of the EBU to have like one set of values with one country and a different set of values with a different country.
Yeah. And Paul, yes, you better quote me on this. He's not coming last. If I have to vote for him just so I prove my point, I will not. I already spent my voting money, but also
hi Lucas, that's really nice. I just want to say hi because he's been commenting and I don't think we ever acknowledged Lucas at all, but thank you. Yes. That's so nice.
Oh yes, thank you so much.
And someone's saying something nice about the US because we get abused for that all the time. So
I know. Well, I feel like, you know, though, like we're kind of like, I feel like you especially, you did live over in Europe.
Yes, and recently some fucking asshole who doesn't know me. I said somebody had posted something about Luna's staging and they were being nasty about it. And they said like, oh, they should have left that shit in Silesia. And I'm like, excuse me, like she is not from Silesia. She is from Warsaw and so is TVP headquarters. Like, what are you bringing Silesia into this for? And for those who don't know, Silesia is like it's a very unique part of Poland. It's not really like the rest of Poland. And this person fucking quote tweets me like, shut the fuck up, American, keep Poland out of your mouth, don't be saying bad things about Warsaw, only we can say bad things about Warsaw. And I'm just like, okay, obviously you don't know me, because anyone who knows me would not say some dumb shit like that. Because for those of you who don't know, my family is Polish. If you saw my last name, if you saw my first and last name together, you'd be say, bitch is Polish. You'd be confused hearing my American accent. I lived in Poland, went to school in Poland, worked in Poland. Like, yeah. I'm as 90% of Americans you've met are really, well, that's the way most people are. Most human beings are pretty okay. It's like, you know, everyone has assholes. Every country has assholes. Oh, Lucas, you live in Malmö. That's really cool.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like exactly. This is a live stream from two Europeans, Irish and Polish. I don't see Americans here. That's so real. Well, you know, I don't know. Is that, I mean, I feel like that is a thing though in America. Like people identify with, because America's like a melting pot. Most of us are not Native Americans. So, you know, most of us identify with a certain, if you know your background.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you know your background.
I don't know. I think it's very common. Does. Exactly, yeah. A lot of people don't, but it's very common to be like, feel very connected to your heritage. Because I get that comment a lot, because I do always say like, oh, I'm Irish, and the people are like, you're not Irish, but I am Irish. I am. I feel very connected with Irish.
So you're spiritually Irish
people. Exactly.
I do have one grandparent from Ireland, actually.
Okay, Bambi Thug.
Yeah, so I got that drop. I got that drop of Irish blood. That drop of Guinness.
Oh my God. Oh. Well, then we had Slovenia, Raven, Veronica. Okay, I didn't expect this to qualify. I had it in my qualifiers.
Me either.
I had it in my qualifiers, but I wasn't expecting it to qualify because I didn't think the stage show was good. But she was just truly magnificent. And I think it was a Monica Liu effect where just, you know, some people are just really charismatic, amazing performers that transcend any poor level of staging and can really reach an audience. And I think that she has that power. I mean, I think if anybody from this year would have that power, Raven is certainly one of them. And so it was really exciting to see that she did end up going through, because I was really happy for her. Like, it was going to kill me if she didn't qualify, because she's just tried for so many years. And it's like, it was like Samantha Tina, like somebody like that was so tragic seeing that, because it was like a person that we know tried for so many years and then just like, it wasn't the time. And I'm so glad that she went through, and like the performance was good from her. That's what the struggle is it's like when you're amazing, but it's just like, ooh, like the stage just, it was too bright, too many wide shots, not enough pacing with like the light. Like it should have gone from like dark to light, back to dark. Like it didn't have an, I don't know. And I thought the camera angles were whack for this one. Like out of everyone, this was the one that stood out the most for me.
This was like such a remarkable miss, and it's a miracle that they made it through. Totally a miracle. But she's a great singer, and that carried her.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm interested to see where this turns out, because like, I don't know. I just really didn't expect this to go through. And then I don't know if it's going to be like a Monica Liu where it ends up going pretty high or what. No. I'm not really sure. No, this was the shot so they said the camera shot where Raven and the backing dancers are just like staring into the camera. Oh, see, they said they liked it. I didn't read it fully. I hated it because well, that was like a moment. It could have been a moment, but the camera was like not centered and it was like a little too wide. Like it just wasn't right. They should have like turned the lights down. Why was it so bright? Like this was one weird. Where it looked like this is an artistic song and it needed an artistic performance, a conceptual performance. And this looked like a girl performing on stage, but this wasn't a girl performing on stage song. This was like this needed a Ireland art piece sort of, you know, thing. So,
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And before we move on to the next one, because I see this comment in here from Carol, and I actually meant to talk about this when we were talking about Ukraine, and then I got distracted. So what do you think about Jerry Heil posting a TikTok with this fake Balenciaga that said 𝗫𝗫𝘆? So I was shocked by that. Because this person was like a right-wing nationalist in Ukraine who I guess is like a hero in Ukraine still, but he had been responsible for this massacre of Polish people. And so I looked at some people's like comments on that, because I was like, oh my God, like why would she wear that, especially so close to like Eurovision? Because I thought it was a really recent interview, but apparently it was from like a few months ago with a really sketchy site. And like, I don't know what the origin is of the sweater in particular, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was the kind of thing where they were like, here, put this on for your interview because it's our brand or something. And because Ukrainians have a positive and I don't know what he did for Ukrainians. I just know what he did to Polish people. So, I mean, it's shitty. I wish she would say something and like address this. Like, is it a situation where, you know, they gave her something to wear? And because it's like, oh, it's a ripoff of Balenciaga. Like, you know, that it's just like, it just didn't click for her, or what? And I thought I was also very confused about it too, because I was like, damn girl, like Poland is voting in your semifinal and you're gonna pull that shit right now? Really? Okay. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. So thank you, Carol, for mentioning that.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well then, I don't know anything about that. So I mean, I saw it. I just don't know anything about the history, so I have nothing to say. Then we had Finland perform, and I'm repping Finland today. Yes. Hey, when did I say that?
Unblurred.
Unblurred, exactly, uncensored over here on the 𝗥ẍy Rainbow channel. They were amazing. I mean, there were some issues with the camera shots, or I don't know. I don't really know what was going wrong, because there were some shots where he was just like literally like just fully out there. You just saw the thong. I mean, he was just, and I was like, it felt like the camera wasn't supposed to be on him. You know what I mean? Like, were we supposed to see him putting the pants on, or was he like maybe late getting them on? I don't know what that was about.
Maybe he was late getting them on. That would make sense, because I do think they like 𝗫pilot everything. So it would have been like set up. And I did notice some other performances too, where like clearly people were like a little bit off on things. But yeah, I don't think that we were supposed to see the thong, that they were supposed to maintain the illusion. What really stood out to me though was the fireworks from the shorts. So in 𝗫𝗆, he like swings them around like this, like to the side, and like goes in a circle. But here he has to hold them upright, and he still spins around, but it looks less frenetic and less wild and less exciting when you do that. Like, because it was the waving aspect that made them.
Yeah, it was like really, just like crazy.
It was totally nuts. Also, they had to put down like a fireproof mat, and you can see it. And I don't remember that in 𝗫𝗆, them having a fireproof mat. I mean, I believe that they probably did to protect the stage, but if they did, you couldn't see it, but you can see it here, and that's not nice. And I'm guessing that potentially because of the shape of the stage is why he can't put them out, because they would go towards people in the audience, whereas at 𝗫𝗆, that stage was really high up from the audience and they were pretty far back. So they would not have reached past the stage to hit the audience members.
This Paul says they cannot point them down to protect the stage screen. Well, let me tell you, that damn LED on the floor is so clean, crisp, beautiful. I would protect them too. Those need protection.
But I don't think that he pointed them down during UMK, they were out to the side.
They were out to the side. Yeah.
They were to the side.
Yeah.
And maybe like some of them would hit the ground, but
even if they were more like a little up. Yeah. If it wasn't straight up, but just like out, like up, out, like that even. But I didn't personally notice that. I thought this was a great performance. I thought everybody sounded good. I thought it looked amazing. It's basically, I mean, it's pretty similar to the national selection. They didn't really do much to change it, but I thought it looked good. I'm glad they went through. I love this entry. So, and Henry.
Yeah, it's going to have the same effect, I think, for people seeing it the first time. They're going to be excited about it. They're going to vote for it.
Mm-hmm. Henry, I need him.
God,
I need him bad.
Delicious.
He's so...
You're gonna say it, Maxxy. Say it for the 𝗫𝗍𝘆 fan account. He is so what?
Fucking hot. He's so fucking hot.
So for people who don't know, we have somebody, a really big fan, and they run an account on Instagram called 𝗫𝗍𝘆 fan account, and they had just made an edit of all the times, not even all of them, I think, but several of the times where Maxxy talks about how hot someone is. And in every single clip, Maxxy is saying, oh, he's so fucking hot. He's so fucking hot. And then every clip, I'm like, yes, he's so fucking hot. Just agree.
I was like, I did not realize every time I'm like, oh, he's so fucking hot. That's the quote every time. I got to switch it up. Got to find some new vocabulary. But I love him. He's the winner of my Eurovision husband award that I'm creating right now
for this year.
Yes. But yes. So then we had Moldova. So here's the thing. Sorry. I just saw this comment. I have to laugh.
Me too.
I'm not going to answer that, but anyways, Moldova, this was tragic.
Hard ass flop. This is last place.
I mean, truly, she looked beautiful. She did look beautiful. She
sang great as well.
She sang amazing. Horrible staging. I mean, literally, apart from maybe having some like Theodore Andre like bodies popped up on there, I mean, it was like, it felt like a setup, you know, like it felt like, oh, y'all really like did everything to downgrade this.
Yeah, and that's funny because I also thought about Theodore Andre, who had some of the most tragic LEDs, but at least those were like exciting and kind of made sense with the song. Like, okay, like it's a song about love and you've got the naked women with the guitar and the fire and all the passion. But this, it's just like, I think Eurovision Tom was like, it's just like a collection of screensavers.
Yeah, literally. It's like given like, you type in AI, like create some Eurovision LEDs from Junior Eurovision, and this is what you get. And I agree with these people who are talking about how she has been like, I mean, and you know, I get it. Emotions run high, but like, why is she on Instagram trashing like Bambi?
What did she say about Bambi?
So she's been saying like, oh, unless you like take off your clothes or are like a satanic demon, you know, Eurovision doesn't like, people don't appreciate real art and real music that comes through. I'm like sis, like and she was stank face in those qualifiers. She was mean mugging that camera.
She the whole time. Did not look good.
And so I'm just like, well, sometimes I think, did no one on your team like prepare you for this? Because I think this was inevitable. Like, I think everybody saw this like writing on the wall. Like, sometimes I'm like, maybe artists should look at the odds, because maybe you should be aware of like your real potential, just so you don't like then go on to Instagram and start like, you know,
well, but what was weird about it though to me in the moment watching the results was that it wasn't like it wasn't like we were getting points progressively throughout the night and like she's at the bottom of the barrel, barely got anything from juries.
Yeah.
It was fucking random. So like you don't know that you're not gonna qualify, or unless you could really base it off of like how much applause people were getting or whatever. But it was very strange to see her be like that. And I did see like that. So this thing about Eurovision being political, I think that quote was taken out of context a little bit, where they asked her, do you think Eurovision is political? And she was like, yeah, it's political. She didn't actually say I lost because Eurovision is political, is what I'm understanding. So it wasn't like those two statements together. I didn't win because of politics. It was just like the Eurovision contest is political. But now hearing the stuff about Bambi, like that is pretty shitty. So I don't think she had a team. She may not have had a team, but they could have. They used money to do this. They could have done something else.
Exactly. And like Paul said, she's been to Eurovision before. So it's just kind of like, you know, if you're going to go back to a competition, like it's a competition, like someone's going to lose. Someone's going to lose.
Maybe in 2007, this shit would have been fine. But
her 2007 song still holds up. Ever, but nobody in and part of this world. Do you really want to be the like that song still holds up? Please, that's still one of the best Moldovan entries. Sorry Sis came back with like the most fucking.
Oh shit! You see this? She's married to a multimillionaire. Well,
girl. Well, that's
no excuses then.
Because the whole thing where people like the thing is Moldova does allegedly have like pretty shady ways of being run. So like I don't think broke bitches really win Moldova's national selection, to be honest. But
no, and I don't know that like 𝗲𝗍𝘆 are like particularly wealthy, but I think didn't they cancel the national selection once the songs came out with them? They were just like, oh, this is obviously the best one. We're not even gonna waste money. Yeah, Moldova is a tiny country, but we see tiny countries do well all the time with very limited amounts of money, and that the money might not even be an issue here. So
oh yeah,
you know,
I mean Moldova every year has amazing staging.
Yeah,
so that's what was especially shocking, because we both said in our reactions that we could see this, like we expected more. We expected them to take the original concept and bring it like times a million, like not just have, you know, 5 other Natalias on the stage, but then have 5 million on the screens, like have cool optical
they could have just done
illusions,
that.
like,
they didn't need
and these
to
LEDs are
anybody.
so high quality, girl, they'd be looking real. So you could have really done some crazy stuff. They just really didn't do anything. So I mean, in what world are people able to just get on the Eurovision stage, stand in one spot, not move at all, just sing their song and have some pictures play behind them and like they go through?
It did not work for Lazara. That was what she did. She just stood in one place, but at least she had a cake platform that she got raised up on.
Yeah. At least she had that. I mean, who just stands in the middle of the stage, doesn't move at all, picks up a violin for 30 seconds and then calls it a day? I mean, I don't know. But anyways.
I'm sorry. I just have to say, I was like, okay, this is going to be this. We're going live. It'll be like a short one, like 45 minutes or something. We are doing a long ass motherfucking episode. And I'm like, oh my God, how many songs do we have left? I need to eat dinner.
I think we're near the end. Hey, baby.
You baby cookie came, you guys. Normally the Joint Slate patrons are the only ones that get to see my cookie baby. Yes, but we're on the video. Everybody gets to see the video. Oh, the stinky kisses. Oh my goodness, those stinky kisses. What's a sweet cookie? I love you. I love you. I love you. She's like, yeah, I want dinner too, bitch. Hello, I want dinner too. Oh my God, I love you.
You know, I made nice mac and cheese today, so.
Oh shit, yeah, you have a great point in there. 𝗤𝗍𝘆𝘆 𝗏 did basically just stand there, so you can do it.
That's true, but you know what? You can do it, but certain songs warrant that. Like 𝗤𝗍𝘆𝘆 wasn't going to be doing crazy shit. But given that the original way she presented this song was full of over-the-top things, like, you know, it's just weird that they went the opposite route. But
Cookie had something to say about Natalia. You know, It's funny because I do sometimes find myself going, da, 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 and it gets Cookie all riled up. So maybe she was like, this was my fave. Stop trashing my girl. Robbed. That's what she was saying.
No, she does look a little pissed over there. So
yes, it's pissed.
She's like, that bitch should have gone through. But you know, I was gonna say, you know who did go through, but
yeah, guaranteed to go
they
through.
Did. Was Sweden then performed. Oh my god. Something about this clicked. Something about this clicked hard for me because I was not really sure about this. And like ahead of this, I was like, okay, it's a fine pop song, whatever. I'm like, oh my god. I don't know if it's because I'm starting to find them cute or what. Something about it clicked. I'm like, I love it. I love the way they progress through it. I love the imagery. I love the like code and then the lyric, like unforgettable. And then the lighting, the way they do the green and the red. And it's like so futuristic, Matrix, Code Lyoko, zooming through space through a computer. What?
No, do you know what? These fucking outfits, Paul, back me up. This is giving Star Trek Next Generation.
And what's wrong with that?
Have you seen Star Trek Next Generation? It is my favorite of the Star Trek franchise, but some of the outfits are totally whack. These outfits are whack.
Well, I don't know. It is a little costumey.
It's costumey, yeah.
Like, ooh, if they were in like a crop top mesh
shirt.
You
would like that. I mean, I'm too old to be saying anything about the way these boys look physically. Wait, how old are they actually? Because they look like 17.
22. They are 22. Going on 23.
Okay.
So
yeah, well, I'm 34. So
I mean, yeah, they are young, but I did think they were. I thought they were too young for me to even say that, but they're like my age, so.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I mean, it's whatever. This song and performance is like whatever. It's like fine. I am
blown away by it.
I don't know.
I literally loved it so much. Something changed. I feel like this is getting top 5.
Okay. I mean, I think it could come like top 10. Of course, the Swedish people aren't able to vote for it, but others will. It is totally
but the Norwegian
commercial.
People
the Norwegian people will vote like crazy.
That's where they're from. So
yes. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the appeal for this is very wide. So I think that there will be plenty of people that vote for it. It'll definitely get the younger people are going to vote for it because they're big stars, like with the youth. Well, someone asked, where is Renata from? Well, me and Maxxy are actually from basically the same place. So you might notice that we've got really similar accents, and that's why. You're a bit more Pittsburghy than I am, but
am I?
A little bit. You don't say yins, but you're a little bit more Pittsburghy than me. But we are both from Pennsylvania. I am from Erie, Pennsylvania, which is like north up by the lake, really close to Canada. And Maxxy's like a little bit further south in Pittsburgh. But yeah, we're both in the same place, but I live in Washington, D.C. now.
Yes. Yeah. That's how we met. Cause I was like, oh my God, finally someone, cause when you were living in Pittsburgh, it was like, oh, finally someone that is from Pittsburgh. That's a Eurovision fan. The only other person I've ever met, I met a follower of mine one time, worked at the restaurant right across the street from where I worked, which is crazy. Cause I'm the only time we ever met before you moved was at my job as well. But like I knew you were coming over there, but this was a customer came in, and that it was so goofy because it was like, I'm at work and this person's like, are you Maxxy Rainbow? I'm like, oh, make all my coworkers think I'm famous. Like,
oh my God, I've never heard this story before. Really? That happened?
Yes. And he was from Serbia, like born in Serbia and moved to the United States. And he said something about how like he was living here in Pennsylvania with his boyfriend or whatever. And or in Pittsburgh, and I literally was like, I felt so embarrassed afterwards because he said that he was like, oh, he recognized me, whatever. Oh, I watch your videos, and then I was like, oh, like I don't have any Eurovision friends here, like so, like you know, like if you ever want to talk about Eurovision, I'm here like every day. I'm like a full-time employee over here. You work across the street. I'm like, if you ever want to come up to talk about Eurovision, never saw him again.
Wow. He was
starstruck. Like, damn.
He was clearly
I really thought I was going to make a friend. I thought I was going to make a friend. But it's fine.
Renata is sort of from Poland, but I am totally American. I'm sort of from Poland. So when I'm speaking Polish, my Polish is absolutely shit now because I haven't been back in like 5 or 6 years. But I lived in Lublin, so probably the way that like if there's like little words and stuff that I use, I probably use like the Lublin version of things.
Okay, come on, Lube. So next up we had Australia. I get why they didn't qualify, but I did think they would go through still. Like, they were on my personal qualifiers personally. But I do get it because they really didn't give them much to work with on that stage. But God, I love this song. And I love their energy on stage. Like, they really do come alive when they're performing live. But I don't know. Something about this didn't click, unfortunately. But I love the song. I really did want it to go through.
I love the song. I've been streaming it a lot lately. It just makes me feel good. And the staging like did leave me wanting a little bit more. And I had said whenever we did our predictions that I was worried that it was going to suffer the same fate as 𝗤𝗄𝗄𝗅 with
Birth of a New Age.
Birth of a New Age, which is just so amazing and was completely robbed, one of the most robbed songs ever in Eurovision. And there were elements to this that were very similar, like down to like the font that they used when they put 𝗥𝗶𝗆𝗆 up on the screen. I'm not surprised that this didn't connect with Europeans, and the vocals weren't also like super perfect either, so that didn't help. But I really would have liked to see this go through. And of course, there was a message posted onto the dancer, the person who and I wish that I could remember. Oh fuck, that I can't remember the name. Didgeridoo is not the real name for that instrument.
Yes, I learned that today from 𝗤𝗄𝘆. It's it starts with a Y, I believe.
Yeah, find that while I find the post from the dancer. Because I do want to, because I think a lot of people probably did not know that didgeridoo is like a white people's term for the instrument.
Yes, it's a westernized term. It's 𝗤𝗍𝗆𝗆. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation. Well,
at least it's closer.
Like 𝗤𝗍𝗆𝗆.
So that's the actual name for it. And the performer is Fred Leone. And they had posted on their Instagram with a picture of the body paint and said, "That's a watermelon on my chest. From the river to the sea, 200 million people watched and celebrated while innocent children, mothers, and fathers die by the thousands in a genocide. I'm down for Jewish people. Israel is not Judaism. Israel doesn't represent Jewish people. I am not down with fucking genocide. My great-grandfather survived 3 massacres. Our families across so-called Australia are the survivors of an ongoing genocide. This was a personal decision. What comes of this, no matter how detrimental to my career as an artist, is solely dependent on those that hold the power. All my love to the children of Palestine. You can disagree. That's fine, but history will condemn you as a cunt." Peace sign emoji. And what was interesting too is that one of the background singers also posted on Twitter about this, and they said that Fred had used the last of his body paint to draw that. I don't know if that'll work, but to draw
the watermelon,
to draw the little watermelon on his chest, like it's like a half circle, really, like it's it's like a pictogram. It's
like the outline of it.
Yes, and the backing singer said that he drew that on after he had been physically patted down before going on stage to make sure that they didn't have any like forbidden bodies.
Physically patted down.
And I don't know if that was something.
Also, he barely had anything on.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, so they like felt him up then? Like,
yeah, literally? I'm like, where was he gonna hide it? in the instrument? Like, where?
Shocking, disgusting, deplorable, offensive. I don't know if they always pat artists down. If they do, that's fucked up and they should stop it. I wonder, is it not something that they normally do or didn't intend to do, but they did it because of Eric at the beginning, where they were like, oh, fuck. Like,
yeah, because that's what I was going to ask. I was like, well, if it was like standard procedure and they were doing it for everybody, then why is SVT acting all surprised when they I mean, even at that, I was like, it wasn't like Eric put it on, like, Eric had it on, like, it was clearly on there, like, it was tied on there. He didn't just do that right then. Like, he was let onto the stage like that. So, like, I don't know. That's weird. It's very unfortunate also that, like, artists are having to be put through this. The way it's feeling the effect on everyone. And I'm glad to see people are speaking out.
Yeah, and somebody said about the commenters from Australia were super rude. That's true. Yeah. I saw the clips. Horrible. They should be fired. Not allowed to do this anymore.
I don't think that commentators should be allowed to give their opinions either.
Well, not during the voting.
Not either. Yeah, especially not during the voting. Like, maybe when results are being announced, or maybe only be allowed to give positive, thoughts. But, like, it's not right for a commentator to be saying this. Well, for sure to be saying this person's ugly, but even to be saying, like, oh, this song is boring, this blah 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 blah. Let people enjoy the contest, vote for what they like. That's, like, I feel like it goes against the sanctity of the contest. It's a competition. You're an official commentator. You should not be giving your thoughts. You should be giving information, and you should be commentating or translating if it needs translated. That's, like, yeah. Also,
well, and that's funny because
a lot of people.
That's a hockey thing too. You have the commentators, and sometimes they're really biased. Yeah. And people always bring that up as well, where they're like, "This guy is so fucking biased." Like, it's not.
But at least them giving their opinions doesn't affect the results. I feel like a commentator saying, like, "Oh, this thing," like if you go back in the day and you watch the commentary from 98 when Donna International won. When you go back and watch that commentary, it's like, I mean, it was the 90s and it was just like horrible transphobia the entire time. It's a wonder how she won. I mean, thank God. But it's like, if you have why are you allowing a person to just, like, spew that on an official commentary? Like, and because then what that's doing is it's allowing the people to not vote based on the song that they see and the performance that they see, but now, like, this extra information that they might be given that might, and in that at that time is being presented as a negative, right? So it's like a reason to, like, don't vote for that one. Like, it's not, yeah. So at least with sports, it's like, well, they can say that they don't like this team, but if they win, like, it is what it is.
Right. It's not, you're right. It's not going to change the outcome. Whereas with this, it could.
Yeah. Well, then we had
honestly, you guys, yesterday I woke up and I texted Maxxy and I was like, I have a new winner and it's Portugal.
Yeah.
Amazing. Beautiful art.
Literally, I mean, so just I felt like in my reaction I couldn't even speak because I was just so enthralled by her performance. It was so amazing. It was so beautiful. Her emotion that she just, like, oozes out through her performance, everything, it's just so good. And this is one that looks amazing on this stage. Oh
God,
like,
they did so much with so little. They did so much with practically nothing. That's what's so amazing about it. Although they do have all those dancers, and that is expensive to bring all those people, but oh my God, blew me away. And I am serious, you guys. I am serious when I say I believe that this is going to pull a proud North Macedonia proud level result. I mean, maybe it's not going to come like second or whatever, but this is going to be an excellent result. I feel it. This is definitely left-hand side of the board. This is not doing an Aya, where it's coming, in the bottom 5 or whatever. this thing fucking connects like to the heart. She's an amazing performer. The styling, perfect. Dancing, perfect. Use of stage, perfect. I mean, if people don't vote for this, then there's no hope for Europe.
But people will. I feel like having a televote only semi and knowing that she went through a televote only semi, then I'm like, well, but the juries are going to eat this up. And so we know that there's also people that love you enough to vote for you for the televote as well.
True.
Like, this is going to do amazing. I'm so excited to see the way this turns out, because and Yolanda is just literally just, she makes you want to root for her too, because she's just so charismatic and sweet and kind and nice. And my reaction
also has been wearing clothes by Trashy Clothing Company, an amazing Palestinian creator, fashion designer, anti-luxury fashion, I think is what they call it. Very cool clothes. Her styling has been on point. She also looks like she's having a great time, like super having fun, riding scooters and shit. Like, I just love her. Absolute queen. Deserves the world, deserves to win. Deserves to win.
Yes.
And I know we've talked about some of the other fan favorites. I would be happy with Ireland winning. I would be happy with Croatia winning. I think this should win. I think this should be the winner. And yes, like 𝗥𝗶𝗆, I think it will also be like 𝗥𝗶𝗆, because it's the same kind of a thing with just really amazing singing, vocal talent and ability. And the fact that the song's structure is also very digestible. There's nothing it doesn't like rip you around into a million places.
Yes, because this person says that they fear that it'll be like 𝗥𝗶𝗆. I don't think so, because 𝗥𝗶𝗆 did take a risk. That was like a more divisive style of music. I mean, I think we both liked 𝗥𝗶𝗆.
Loved it.
But like, I don't understand how nobody seemed to connect with it, not juries or televote, but in a way I do also understand, because it isn't like a mainstream type of thing, but this is a lot more digestible. And 𝗥𝗶𝗆 was from Spain, so like automatically being an automatic qualifier, like she qualified through the televote, she's gonna get votes. Like she's not gonna get like a 0.
Yeah. Like if 𝗥𝗶𝗆 hadn't been an automatic qualifier, like she would not have qualified.
Yeah. And alrighty. Also, I know it doesn't really matter, but my reaction to this is getting a lot of views. So that's telling me that a lot of people are going to go like look up this performance after the fact, and then also see what other people are talking about it. Because and the thing is, my Portuguese videos don't normally get a lot of views. Like, there are certain countries that have bigger audiences that always watch their entries. Like, my Poland reaction has a lot of views because Polish people always go back and like want to see what people are talking about their entries for. And same with like my Ukraine video. But I was surprised to see that this was one of my most viewed reactions from the semi.
Hey, that's a good sign.
Yeah, like a lot. I mean, I think it's maybe the 4th, just behind like the favorites, Ireland, Ukraine, and Croatia. So
I cannot wait to see the split results. Oh my God. Because that's after the final happens, right? That we find out what the semifinal results were. I really cannot wait, because like, I really wonder, like, how high did she finish in this semifinal? Like, I don't think she was in the top 3, probably, because we know that that's Ireland, Croatia, and Ukraine. They came the top 3. But I think
top 5 is very realistic.
I think she very, very safely got through. It would have been like Raven maybe coming in 10th.
Luxembourg
9th to 10th.
Like,
yeah.
Alrighty. And then, well, speaking of, then we have Luxembourg. And so this is the one I would have not qualified, because it's just a broken record at this point. They don't know what they're doing with this song. Why are we going like jungle themed? Why are we
those
like
cheesy ass like middle school binder leopards? Those
that
Lisa
like
Frank
the overlay.
leopards?
What the fuck was that? I mean, in my reaction, I had to pause and I just said, wait a second. This is just it being on the LED was one thing. Putting it then while it's on the LED still, So you got one behind you, and then you got two coming in on top of the screen. Where did the leopards come from? I'm so confused about this vision. Why are we then in the mountains? Why are we in the jungle? But then you're in these like LED cubes at the beginning. She sung it wonderfully. She and I do like this song, but the presentation of this was so bad to me. And also, no choreo from her, basically, like nothing. I didn't find the choreo from the dancers even to be very impressive, and I was distracted. Like in the national selection, I remember feeling like, oh, this is a really good performance. The dancers, everything felt like it complemented it pretty well because it was more simplified. So I could pay attention to those things. I really think this deserved like almost staging it like Portugal in terms of the LEDs, but like playing on the imagery from the music video. So instead of like black and white, have that like pale blue color, pale minty blue, have the steps. Like you could do some cool imagery walking up the steps, or I don't know, like play on that more. I just am so confused. I'm so confused. The floor length braids, girl, they touched the damn floor.
And they were too puffy. Somebody said they listened to you because the braids were puffier, but now they're like, they put in like the whole pack of hair. And
that was the thing. They did like 3 bundles on each. Like, no, that's not what we wanted.
This style, okay, she has got to be one of the worst styled people this year. The red carpet or turquoise carpet look she had, that Shein ass looking gemstone bodysuit with gems missing. And I clocked the same thing you did, that the crotch was like, you could see where the so the dress that I wore to UMK, my little silver party dress, that was that kind of fabric. And mine was better quality. And even I remember seeing where the seam was and thinking, that looks kind of like shit. And hers was like an inch of like black crotch. These outfits remind me of Blanca's outfits last year. The solo outfits, just a little bit darker. Tragic styling on her throughout the whole thing. Needs a new stylist.
Yes, I don't know who. I'm getting a feeling. I honestly feel like this girl has absolutely no say in anything of her Eurovision experience. I feel like she is just like, I genuinely feel like she's got a little bit of a richer like broadcaster behind her, but it's giving Romania. Like it's giving just like, we're going to put you in what you want to be put in. We're going to just do whatever we want with you. Oh, this isn't working. We're just going to like do like, you get no say because there's no artistic vision. I'm just so confused. I'm so confused.
Yeah. Oh, they said the money went to the national final. Yeah. The national final was super slick. I guess they really didn't have much left over.
But it's like they did a lot with this. They had dancers, they had a prop, they had really involved LEDs, they had fog, they had video overlays. Like they did a lot of stuff. Budget wasn't an issue. I mean, we know that
creative direction was. It was the creative direction.
She is very lucky she made it through.
She is. Well, and it's possibly because they had, I think, during the voting, done an interview with her and said like, oh, Luxembourg is back after all these years. And so they kind of did put a little bit of a spotlight on her when it mattered the most. But I thought the opener and the closer for this semifinal were very weak. And I'm shocked that both of them got in. I mean, I think when it comes to the people who like who should have gotten in versus others, like, I mean, the bottom of the barrel for me of the qualifiers would definitely be this and
Cyprus,
yes.
Yeah.
But then it's like, so what would I put in its place? I would put Poland and Australia, although they would not. I think probably Cyprus and Luxembourg would do better than maybe Poland and Australia. Well, definitely would because they did better here. So, because they did.
I would have put. I think Cyprus deserved to go through. I don't think Poland deserved to go through, based on what we saw. But I do think that Australia was better than Tally.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the song is loads better. And it was more interesting.
I like the song. It's just, I think, yeah. But honestly, at the same time, I didn't think Australia was like so groundbreaking, amazing to where I looked at the results and still thought, well, but I get it. Like I am happy though with everybody who made it through. I think everybody did. Nobody was bad. I didn't find there to be any shock non-qualifiers.
All the non-qualifiers made sense. You could figure out why certain ones didn't make it.
Like I was shocked that Slovenia made it through because I wasn't expecting it, but they all deserved it. They all deserved it.
Highlight this comment from 𝗪𝗀𝘆𝗆. What language is that? I'm guessing it means good evening because that's what you said first, but I don't recognize that language. What is that? Is that Welsh?
Is it Irish?
Is it Irish? I don't even know how to say it. I'm not even going to try because I'm sure you're like, well, oh, it's Irish. Oh, that's cool. Hi.
That's a different person.
It's Irish. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Hi, Ireland.
Yeah,
I love you, Ireland.
Can y'all teach me Irish? I need to know so I can get my citizen. Well, I don't know.
Does Duolingo have it? You don't.
I don't think it does.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think many people speak it. So I would doubt. I can't imagine.
Well, I know that there's some languages on Duo where it's like more people are learning it on Duo than speak it naturally.
Oh. Yeah.
Like I think native Hawaiian is like that, maybe.
Oh.
Let's see.
That's nice.
The Irish is on Duo.
You're lying.
Have no excuse now. You have no excuse. You can at least learn how to say.
I'm dyslexic.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to add Ireland into my Duolingo, even though I'm heavily into Finnish, but I'm going to give Irish a try.
Yes. Yeah, those languages are difficult for me. I remember in Junior Eurovision, I had this whole thing where everybody made fun of me because they have to sing in Irish in Junior Eurovision because it's an Irish broadcaster. And so I was reading the titles of one of the songs, and the title of the song was IOU. But because Irish is one of those languages where, like, as an English speaker, I look at it and I don't necessarily, like, it's hard to pronounce. It's not pronounced the way it looks as an English speaker, right?
The phonetics are completely different. Like, you have to learn the alphabet.
So I was looking at IOU and assuming it was an Irish word. And so sitting there, like, at the beginning of the video going, Eow? Eo? and then I watched the reaction, and I'm like, I watched the song and I'm like, oh, he's saying IOU. So wow. I just always think about that. Yeah. So then after everybody performed, though, we did have some like interval acts at the end. Did you watch these?
Yeah. Okay. You know, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut because there's so many Irish people in the chat. Johnny Logan.
Wait, no, you have to say, because I actually forgot to watch it.
I don't know. I guess I just was like totally bored. And I'm like, why is this guy singing Euphoria? And I don't like this and I don't like him. And can we move on, please?
It was interesting to have him, especially because wait. Yeah, because I'm like, well, Ireland, because I was thinking of the people at the beginning too. And like, did they pick people that are competing in the semi, like Ireland? And especially because Johnny Logan had done some stuff like promo for Bambi, which is great. I love, because I just love seeing this like old Irish man like promo Bambi Thug, and like promoing Crown the Witch. I saw something about like them doing a promo video of him being like exorcised or something. I don't know if that's real. I didn't see that, but I saw like a thing about that. But I mean, hey, Johnny Logan, technically 3-time winner. Good for him.
Ooh, that's interesting. Somebody said it was supposed to be a duet with Loreen. Okay, that makes more sense then. Because
I saw that on Wikipedia. Yeah.
Why'd she pull out? Anyone know? That's interesting what you brought up, though, about the countries, because I was kind of doing the count in my head, and it actually would have been that they had like a performer from competing countries, except Chanel is from Spain, and Spain did not perform today.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But I mean, it makes sense to see that duet. I think that would make more sense to have it in the final. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. Like the only two-time Eurovision winners coming together. And I mean, they did just announce that Loreen is going to be in the final, of course. But okay, this is another thing about Eurovision is them announcing things like the day before. Like we do months in advance back in the day. Like last year even, we knew who was coming. Like they had just announced a few days ago that Eric was performing, which like maybe it's for security reasons, but some of these don't make sense. Like, why are we just getting an announcement? Loreen will be back on the stage. Like, duh.
Yeah, we expected her to. It would be shocking if she wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, even Måneskin showed up. I mean, even though Loreen has just disappeared. Like, no singles, an album's not coming out till next year. Loreen.
Well, she's just living her best life. I mean.
Well, I just think, you get a second chance. You already fumbled it the first time.
Look, she's so busy meditating on the beach that she just doesn't have time for this shit.
I mean, I respect it. I love it. But I just think, oh my God, you have literally two of some of the most successful Eurovision songs, like commercially, and you got the privilege to win a second time and you just fumbled it again. But it's fine. But yeah. Oh, so then after Johnny Logan, we then had Benjamin Ingrosso. So I am a Benjamin Ingrosso stan. This was one of the moments watching Eurovision this year that made me feel upset that I wasn't there because I love Benjamin Ingrosso so much. Literally ever since he first competed in Melfest with 𝗥𝗶𝗆, my crush for him just like it lives on forever. I find this man, and I found a clip from my reaction to his original Eurovision entry. I found a clip where I said he is second to 𝗬𝗆. If something ever happens to 𝗬𝗆, Benjamin Ingrosso is my second. Stop. And honestly, I agree still. Honestly, if Benjamin Ingrosso wasn't so unattainable, maybe I would go for it. But I love him, and he was a superstar on that stage. Like this was such a different person than we saw on the Eurovision stage so many years ago, back in 2018. I mean, I love that he didn't even perform his Eurovision song because he's got hits. And
one of the biggest artists in Sweden.
Yeah, yeah. And his song 𝗏𝗏𝗏, which was the middle song, fucking amazing. He actually did a remix with Ollie Alexander. I was surprised they didn't do something, but I guess he's a contestant. I guess they can't do that. But
it's funny that
not that they can't do it because they did it with Lena Meyer-Landrut. But anyways, she was a winner.
It's funny that you said superstar because as soon as you said that, I saw somebody said that he's giving Jesus, and so I immediately thought he is giving Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh my God!
So. It's also funny that you missed Johnny Logan. I missed this, actually. So I did not see this performance. I have to go back and check my e-cig. It's been a long day, you guys. Seriously, I just got home from work, immediately jumped on the stream. Oh, yeah. We've been on it for 2.5 hours. I am dying over here.
We usually film in a minute. I know, I was going to say, we usually start filming this time. So the amount of time that's normally time to eat, time to set up. But, yeah, I loved it though. He was so amazing. Definitely go back and rewatch that because it made me proud because everybody, the fandom hated him. And I'm just I've been around. I've been a stan.
I always loved him. I also loved 𝗥𝗏𝗆, and I loved Dance You Off, and I love him, Would Smash. Love him.
Yes,
he's so fucking hot.
Because he is so fucking hot. Benjamin Ingrosso can have every little bit of me. I'm just saying. So
yeah.
Yes. So I believe is that everything in my slide? Oh, I just did little slides of everybody qualifying, but we went over the qualifiers. But here are these pictures that I put together. Look at that. Beautiful. Bambi's was so good. I love. Yeah. And yeah, so that was the first semifinal. And hopefully we'll be doing this for the second one. I love going live. I love having all the comments and stuff and keeping.
Yeah, I really like doing live. This is really fun.
Should have done this a little more in the season.
I know. Now that we realize that it's like fun, less editing to do at the very least. But yeah, but also we end up talking some shit. Like, you guys should see the stuff that hits the cutting room floor. Like, the episode might be an hour and a half, but I can tell you, we sat for 2.5 hours, and we were just
usually like 30 minutes to an hour before we even click record.
And then there's tons of stuff where we're like, don't put this in the show, but and then we say, you know, the stuff that's not even allowed to go on Patreon. But
who was your favorite before we go?
Oh yeah. Oh, well, Portugal. Yeah. Portugal was definitely my favorite, and then probably, honestly, Ireland, just because like I'm not wild on the song, but the performance is fucking insane, and loved it.
Yeah. Ukraine and Ireland for me. Those are my top two, for sure. Well, and that was the second semifinal.
Yeah. And we'll do this again Friday, right? Same time, same place, Friday.
Yeah. If you're, I got nothing going on. If you're available.
Yeah, I'll do it Friday.
Yes, for sure. So then we will see you guys on Friday doing this. Of course, I've got a bajillion reactions to film tomorrow and edit for the second semifinal. So, but we will see you then. Thank you, everyone who came around and watched. I know it was a little bit of an odd time. So we appreciate everybody that showed up. And we will see you all later. My name is 𝗥𝗶𝗯𝗆 Rainbow.
And I'm Renata from the 𝗲𝗏𝘅𝘆.
And we'll see you all later. Goodbye. End stream.
And then how do you end it?